Hey everybody, welcome to the Wednesday afternoon live stream. We've got Kit here. Oh no, here we go. There she is. Yeah, and it's gonna be a different stream today. Oh, hold on, let me move some stuff here so I can see chat and stuff. Okay, got Harry Stark on moderating as well, and I see Not As World is here. Randy is here. Mr. SJK, I think I said that right this time, 1250 TV, Soul Machine. Hey, man, what's up? So, not going to be working on music today. And actually, I almost didn't stream today because there's actually a bunch of stuff I need to do. There's a couple projects coming up, and some of them I can't... I don't really want to talk about them because I don't want to jinx them, and they're kind of a big deal, but it kind of relates to the YouTube channel and my history and a bunch of pictures. And before I go into the pictures directly, I want to explain where they came from so that nobody gets confused, because there's a lot of pictures from my other studio, The Zone, and sometimes when I'm showing them, people get confused and they think that I'm talking about this place here. No, this is where I'm at now, my home studio now. The Zone is a studio that I had in another house that I got in the 80s. And this here is a picture of me building that studio. I don't have many pictures of me building the studio, but this would have been from probably the 80s when I built it. And this picture here, this is in Norcross, Georgia. And trust me, this is all going to lead to what I'm doing today. This is a picture of the studio. Now, you're probably wondering why I have an apron on and a Kroger hat. There was a Halloween party going on at the time, and I walked down there and somebody took the picture. But this is literally one of the earliest pictures of when I put that studio in the 80s. And you can see I don't even have like professional studio monitors. These are like really cheap stereo speakers that I don't even know where I think it was my brother's stereo. And I don't know what this big speaker is here. I have some old bag-end speakers hanging up on the wall, but it was all analog. I didn't really have any outboard gear. If you look at what's up here, I have a patch bay, and that was just to hook up from the mixer to the 16-track, which was here. As you see, this is another shot of the same room. This is actually a little later when I got some more gear, but that's what that is. This is like, you see my 4-track over here, and then I got a little more gear. This is the same studio. I ended up getting like a little mic pre thing, and there's like a little drum sample thing. You see I got some professional monitors, but I still at this point all analog, even though I did get a computer. And, oh, come on, shut up. I should have turned my phone off. But I had the studio for years. I actually still own the house, and there's still a studio there, although it's different. And here's another shot of me. This would have been in the 80s. At some point, I put a vocal booth here behind where I was sitting. But this would have been 80s or 90s or something like that. Maybe, probably 80s now that I'm thinking about it. And I did a lot of sessions. I had this studio a long time. I did countless sessions in this place. This is a shot from a band I had called Tin Jaw Joe. This is Glenn Bender on drums, and then Jimmy B from Tokyo Teens. There he is playing bass right there. We were in that group together. Eventually, I upgraded that studio in the late 90s to the Ghost console, which is not the same one I have here. There's a Ghost console in this room. This is not the same console. That console is still at that studio, but I was still analog at that time. And I eventually moved up to... Oh, actually, I got this a little out of order. Before I got that board, actually, this is when I was still analog, but using the Ramza mixer. This is actually a picture, I think probably the first session I ever did with Rick Beato at my studio when I was working with a band called Shrunken Head, which is, this is Alex Pilson over here. And then I upgraded to this console here. And hold on, there's a cat trying to get in the studio. Hold on. No, get out of here. Go on. There have been cat invasions all day. But I had that studio for years. And like I said, I still have it around. And then eventually I did get into computers. Like this is a picture of probably when I had my first Pro Tools rig. And you can see there's more stuff being added. I got these other monitors, and look at these 2 computer monitors here. Man, these CRT things. And then I started doing a lot of rap music. And this is a picture of Cauley Park way back when I was still doing some sessions on analog, just getting into Pro Tools. And you can see probably off camera here some the ADATs are back here. So I had ADATs where I was recording those digitally. And but I'm still doing 16-track analog work, because you can see right here, there's a track sheet, a 16-track track sheet. So I was still doing stuff. Oh, look on the mixer there. There's an actual somebody. He's probably leaving me a check. I think that's a check right there. Back when I used to get paid with checks, and moved on to like all sorts of rap sessions. I love this picture right here. This is a picture of me and David Banner and Bone Crusher back in the early days. This is probably late 90s, real early 2000s, possibly. Here's another one. Hold on, let me get. Oh yeah, here's another one with those guys. We did a lot of work together. And the studio kept growing. I had everybody come in this place. Here's a picture of Lil Jon, Jazzy Faye, and Polo de Don. And I have no idea when this would have been, but probably late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there, just looking at the gear. I can see over here I've got my Mac 9600. So I was doing some Pro Tools work. Although I'm looking back there, there's only one monitor screen, but I was constantly changing that stuff. And of course, Yin Yang Twins came in the studio. And I worked and had a lot of people come in. Here's a shot from probably 2010s or something like that. My hair isn't totally white yet, but you can look at the monitor there. That was my old Mac, back before they made the cheese grater Macs. But yeah, there's that Ghost console. And it kept growing and growing and growing. And then I started this YouTube channel, and I started scanning pictures. And I remember when I started the YouTube channel, I started scanning the pictures. I felt like, I don't really have that many pictures from the past. I wish I'd taken more pictures. But as time has gone on, and I'm trying to get more pictures, I start digging around the house because I've got lots of stuff, in case you hadn't noticed. And I keep finding more pictures. So I scan, I scan, and I've got I don't actually know how many pictures. Hold on. I'm actually kind of curious. How many pictures do I have scanned so far? Approximately, that would be, it's not really telling me much. Probably a couple hundred or so, right? Of pictures. This is a box of pictures I still have to scan right here. And back here, these are more unscanned pictures. Well, actually, the folders here are scanned pictures, but I got a bag of black and whites here, and then all the ones. These are all. I've got 4 of these small things in here. They're all about half full because I've been pulling them out and scanning them. Those still need to be scanned. And there's another box, and I'm going to get to that later in the live stream because there's a big story to this whole thing, right? A lot of times I'm looking at these pictures and I have no idea who these people are. And on the thumbnail I made for this live stream, I put a few of them on there. And a lot of the rap stuff, I can just hit up Bone Crusher and, text him a picture and he'll say, oh, that's so-and-so and that's so-and-so and that's so-and-so. But I don't, some of these nobody knows. So one of the main things I'm kind of curious about is, who is this guy?
Captain Moped?
Okay, so there's a little bit of a story. I do remember it was a rock band. I'm looking at the picture. It was analog.
Of course it was a rock band. Look at that.
Yeah. I think he was the drummer, and he was really weird, and he showed up looking like that. He would often show up. He just showed up for a session like that, dressed in this woman's bathing suit and this cape, and it wasn't even Halloween. This guy here was also in the band. So I think he played guitar. I remember it being heavy rock, and I do remember this guy's voice. That's the weird thing. I can't remember the band or their name, but I remember he kind of talked like he's from the Bronx or something like that, right? Or up north. I don't really know. If anybody knows who this is, and Crystal, keep an eye on the chat in case somebody knows. Okay, does anybody know who Captain Moped? Is that Moped? Is that what it says?
I believe it's Moped.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's Captain Moped. If anybody knows who Captain Moped is or was...
Our two guesses here, George Clinton and Wesley Willis.
No, it's not George Clinton. And strangely enough, George Clinton was at my studio a couple times,
But
and there's a
didn't get a picture.
bizarre story about it all that someday I'm going to tell. Actually, there's several from those two sessions. I have no pictures. I think we are just too, like, in shock. Just like pictures at a time like this. Oh, hold on. I got to make your camera just a little bigger. I'm a little obsessive about this. It could be a little bigger right there. Okay. And if anybody knows who Weird Guy is here, he's playing my mandolin. He just grabbed it for the picture. I just know it's from Atlanta. Late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in there. And if anybody knows who this is, please let me know. We're going to call this guy Weird Dude and Captain Moped, all right? I got another picture here. Now, I know who most of these guys are. This is 1999. I know this is David Banner. This is Baby B from the Lyrical Giants. I don't know who this guy is here. He was at one of the sessions. I think this is... The guy on the left here, I think, is Bizarre's brother D, maybe? But I don't know who this guy is right here. And if anybody knows who this, we'll call this guy Knitcap. Knitcap. So if anybody knows who this is, let me know. I'm on a Mac, M2 Max. Pretty current Mac. No, I'm not using that old Mac anymore. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious who this guy is. And the other thing that kind of ties into this whole story is like, there is a reason why I want to know who these people are, because there's been some people that are interested in doing some stuff about that studio, because it's kind of legendary what happened there. And there's actually still some interesting stuff going on there, and eventually that story will be told too. It's other people who mostly I go there to mix, and I'll be there on Friday. I got to interview Kane from the Yin Yang Twins there. Not that I can't just call him on the phone and talk, but it's for a project. But I kind of want to be able to put together a timeline, and also I want to do some sort of video to acknowledge everybody who is in my studio, which everybody's only going to get like maybe a minute or 30 seconds because it could take 2 hours at that rate. It's insane how many people came through. So I'm just trying to find out the names of some of these people. The other thing that has kind of come up about this studio is, if you see and I'll get into a little more detail about that in a minute, is this door. You see back here behind everybody, there's this door that led into the control room. You see there's all these signatures on it, and you can see it here again. People tended to sign the door and stand in front of it, and something's going to happen with that door. And it's one of the things I don't want to get too much detail about. I would like to know who these guys are. We'll call this picture the Three Amigos. I don't know who these guys are. I remember them. I actually remember... I can look at them and kind of remember their personalities and everything. But I don't know who they are. I can't remember what the session was. There were just so many of them. And sometimes, because I had a B room upstairs, there were actually people who were working upstairs with either Joel or Jonathan or Devin or somebody like that, and they would come downstairs just to kind of see the room. So sometimes people come downstairs for pictures. So might have been a session from the B room, but that's legit. That's all legit stuff. I do remember them. This is in the lounge for the A room, and actually this couch, I've talked about this couch before. We ended up having to burn it. It was really old, but I have tons of pictures of people sitting on this couch. I don't know who this is. I'm pretty sure he's a producer. It looks like he was working on a track, getting ready to lay it down, and we'll call this producer guy, I guess. I just named these like I don't know. Actually, this is I don't know D. Actually, let me go back. I do have these labeled. Okay. This is I don't know C. Three Amigos. I don't know D. I've got tons of these. I'm only showing a few today. And we're going to scan some too. I'm going to scan some of these because I've got some that I've never scanned. We're going to get to that. This is I don't know F. I don't think she was in a band or an artist. I think she was with them. Maybe she was their manager or publicist or something like that. And I keep looking at this picture and I remember her. I just don't know who she is. This is I don't know F. We'll call this Lonely Woman. Okay, next one is I do think I might know who this is. I just don't know his name. The only thing I can think is that I think it's Terry Kay's son. And people can be like, well, who's Terry Kay? Well, Terry Kay is an author. He wrote a book called To Dance with the White Wolf, which is an amazing book. And I could be wrong, but I think this is his son. I don't know why I connect that with him. This is called Terry Kay's son with a question mark. If anybody knows who this is.
By the way, it's To Dance with the White Dog.
Oh, To Dance with the White Dog. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. And then this guy, this is unknown bassist number 2. There's many unknown bassists. Once again, I remember this guy.
It's funny to me how many of these faces are like recognizable to me because through a lot of this time I was not there.
Yeah.
But I guess, I did pop in on weekends.
Look at the door, Crystal.
Oh, yeah?
I just noticed. Look how few signatures are on it. Oh, wait. This was before Bone Crusher signed it, so this would have been the 90s. God, just thought about that. Yeah, look at the door. There's hold on, let me go back and look at a door. Look at the door later on. Now it's only the top part, but that's Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher signed it first. But immediately other people started signing it literally that night. So that's early. God, I swear. Here's another unknown. This is just unknown basis. I get this is unknown basis number 1.
Cellar Ridge says, pour one out for all the unknown bassists.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now this is somebody I don't remember at all, but look at the walls, Kit. This is really early. Mm-hmm. That's in the sound room before I painted them blue. And I don't even have all the little, you see these little triangular things? Mm-hmm. I had them all over the freaking wall. So this eventually got painted blue.
That one might even be late 80s.
Yes, easily this is late 80s. I just have no idea. This is one of those ones that I don't remember whatsoever who this is. This is unknown bassist number 1. This is just.
Wait, wouldn't that have been unknown bassist number 2?
No, I'm going. This was number 2.
Okay.
This is unknown. Do you think I'm going in order here? What do you?
Okay.
Are you trying to
Tanner, no, they're not polystyrene. Actually, they're that heavy duty packing cardboard, like compressed cardboard.
Yeah,
stuff.
I actually still have boxes of that stuff back here. Yeah, it's like real thick cardboard that goes on the corner. So what I used to do construction, well, I used to paint houses. And so I was always on construction sites. And sometimes you'd be on a new house and they're bringing in nice custom cabinets or something like that. The cabinets come in a box and this cardboard stuff, this compressed hard cardboard would protect the corners. And then they just be laying all over the floor and they're big and they're great. So I just grabbed boxes of them and then I put them up there on the wall and painted them. This is just unknown.
There's a slight resemblance to Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Now, I'm looking at the pictures here. If you look in the back here, this is the back wall into the other room. This is before I started doing rap music because the wall is white, if you look back there. And look at the phone.
Oh.
Yeah, by the time I started doing rap music, we had this cool cordless phones. It was still regular phones, but they were cordless and they were cool. That's just a... And look, there's tablature, or not tablature, but there's actual music notation on the wall. I don't know who these people are. I kind of recognize this guy here. He seems somewhat familiar. Don't know who this guy is at all. And then one of the biggest mysteries, and this has been kind of haunting me.
Does the guy in the back have any connection to Paul Provost?
No.
Okay.
To me, somehow he seems like he would have been somehow connected to someone said, like Craig Bromley and the Dunham brothers and stuff.
I didn't know that.
I don't know why. No, that would have been like we knew each other, but we weren't dating or anything like that. So that was a little bit earlier on. So that was more like that Atlanta new wave 80s stuff I was working on. I think maybe. Now this next picture. Okay, so this is in the lounge at the Zone. He's sitting on the couch. He's playing my pink Paisley Telecaster.
Which, by the way, somebody was asking about.
The guitar, yeah, I think. Did I? I think Luna. No, it's sitting. No, it's still sitting over here, but it's kind of Luna's guitar now. So, this was from a project, if I remember well. These guys came from Alabama, and they recorded a whole album on it was one of these like workstations where it's digital, and it's got a little mixer built in. It does like maybe 8 tracks or something like that. Some of them would do 12 tracks, and they recorded an album, and they brought it in, and I would transfer everything into Pro Tools and then mix it. And I mixed a full album either in a day or 2 days. Maybe they got a hotel room and stayed overnight. This is a kid right here, was with him. And I just remember, like, he looked like a little mini rock star, and he didn't talk much, and he was not a bad guitar player. But the older guys, he was just with him. I can't remember if he was in the band or not, but they're kind of in awe of him. And there was just this vibe. I was like, this kid's going to be somebody someday, right? And I've wondered, who is this guy? Did he grow up to be somebody famous? It's been haunting me. And then I recently found this picture. Oh, hold on. Where is it? That picture right there. And actually, hold on, Kit. Let me put your picture up here, too. You are... I don't have your camera. Oh, hold on a sec. I did not prep this properly. 1 second. Yeah, I found this other picture. Hold on. Let me copy this in OBS. Copy.
Hey, while you're doing that, 1250 TV is asked about the Paisley. Is it a James Burton signature?
Oh no, it's just a Japanese knockoff. I got it for like $250. It ain't anything fancy. So I did find another. Wait a sec. Look at the door. Okay, well that makes sense now. So this would have been in the early 2000s because look at the door. So definitely they had a digital workstation. But I remember these two guys, and then he was with them. Does anybody know who this kid is? Like, please, this is driving me nuts. I'm going to call this, it says guitar player cowboy hat,
Yeah, I don't know about a young Derek Trucks.
No. It's not Derek Trucks. I saw that guy. Who's that guitar player who's out now and he wears a cowboy hat and he's slightly chubby, and I thought maybe it's that guy whose name I can't remember now. And I've been thinking, like, maybe it's him. Maybe he was here as a kid. And I'm going to scan this picture. Hold on. Let me grab a...
Casey wonders what he's walked in on.
Explain it.
So Billy's been going through a bunch of pictures from the days recording at the Zone, his other studio. And he's doing it for an upcoming project. But he's coming across a lot of people that came through the studio that he just doesn't remember who they are exactly. And it would be really helpful to us to identify these people. So one of the things about this stream, he's going to be going through scanning some pictures and talking about some stuff. But meanwhile, if anybody recognizes any of these people that we don't know who they are, please throw it up in the comments.
Yeah, I'm going to scan this one. And
he does look specific. Peter Gabriel on the left? No.
I'd
be fangirling so hard.
It was like rock, like not country rock, like southern country. I mean, just like good old rock and roll type stuff.
His mom met SRV once at least. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Okay, I'm going to scan that. And hold on, let me go to my scanning software real quick and go bump and overview. And while that's getting ready, let's go to the next picture of unknowns. And this is not that much of a mystery because we all know. Hold on, let me turn on this little light right here. Come on, light. Okay. I know that's David Banner here. That's David Banner. I know that is... I think a radio DJ. I'm just trying to figure out, is that DJ Cersei? That's what I'm not sure of. And actually, hold on. Let me make this picture here a little bit bigger. That would be this one. Oh, no, not that one. That. Yeah, that's David Banner. But is that DJ Cersei?
When you talk to Banner, you can probably ask him. He might remember. My musical success journey says the guy you're thinking of today who wears a hat like that, his last name is King, but they don't remember his first name.
No, it's not that guy. It's the dude who, God, I can't. I see him on like, Instagram and stuff all the time. Okay, hold on.
Alien Enterprise asks if you've ever worked with any bands from Augusta.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say probably so.
Probably. Okay, what folder am I going to put this in? I'm going to call this... Is this... Hold on. How do I... Oh, select other.
Is he blonde? Who, the kid? It didn't look like it. I don't remember.
Hold on. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to tell. What about the picture in front of the door?
Yeah, hold on. Let me choose this. And I'm going to call this... what did I call him about? I'm just going to say cowboy hat mystery dude. Terrible names. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do it. 800... Resolution of 800.
Wouldn't it be incredible, Casey, if you suddenly were like, wait, I do know that person from way over there in the Netherlands? That would be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be great.
Now, that would be a story right there.
Yeah, but I think this is I think this right here is I think that's, I know it's a DJ Cersei or something like that. I just can't. Look how clean it looks in there.
I know, right?
I'm just looking. Good Lord. Okay.
Yeah,
next.
sure as hell don't look like that now.
Okay, and this needs to be scanned. We're scanning that one now. Here's another one, and I'm probably my audience wouldn't know who a lot of these people are. This is rap stuff. I know who this is. That's Bizarre, who I actually talked to on the phone the other day for the first time in like 20 years or something like that. And I think, hold on, the guy on the left is... I don't know who the guy on the left is. I'm kind of curious about the dude with the hat and the white shirt. If anybody knows who that is, so that would be... I guess I just need to start numbering these damn pictures, man.
Yeah, I think you're going to get confused.
I'm already confused. And I was kind of in a rush today getting into this.
Eddie Ruxpin said the kid in the cowboy hat kind of looks like Jelly Roll's guitar player, Casey Strums.
Hold on. I got to write that down. Casey Strums. Okay, Jelly Rolls.
No, Mr. SJK. Billy did not work with Whitney Houston. Stefan asks if you've ever had clients from Germany.
Oh, wait. Well, what was the guitar player's name for Jelly Roll?
Casey Strums, like as in strums a guitar, Strumz.
Casey?
Casey, yeah.
Casey Strums.
Oh, Casey. I need to see if we can help you out there. Thank you. Over there on Twitch. We'll see what we can do about that.
What?
Casey had to subscribe.
What?
So, we'll see.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Gigi showed up.
That's weird. Okay. Well, that's a lead. It's what's driving me nuts, and now I can't remember the name of the guitar player who I think that kid is. So let me make sure that this looks good. Oh, yeah.
Bloor. Billy's mother also used to write on the backs of all of her photos. And in fact, she got tired of trying to remember dates, and so she got a camera that like actually printed the date on the front of the picture, which kind of messes up the picture to some degree.
Some of the pictures, yeah. Here's another picture of that kid. Now, I don't know if we just I snapped that picture at the wrong time because of his eye, or maybe he has a lazy eye type thing going on. That looks really weird. And I do remember that even though he was a kid, he also looked like an older man. Like he was one of those people that, like, I know he's a kid, but he kind of looks like he's in his 30s or 40s at the same time. I don't know. It's just really haunted me. So it's like, that totally looks like Struns.
Yeah, Strum's the one that you wrote down.
Oh, I wrote it wrong. Hold on.
I spelled it for you.
Yeah, but I wasn't paying any attention to you.
Jesus.
I just got to make that a Z. Strums. Okay. Now, back to this. I just want to know who that is right there. Just, who is that? I think that's somebody important, but I could be wrong. Hold on. Let me put this picture.
Of course it's somebody important. We know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like a famous, everybody came to my studio was important, but for the project, I need to show, there's an actually, I mean, and it's not just one project. There's multiple things. It's kind of complicated. I'm going to scan this one next. So let me go do
Benjamin Button.
that. Okay, let me do that. And this will be, oh, let me queue up another picture here. Okay, so this is, maybe somebody will know who this is. Oh, I mean, I do know who a couple of those guys are. So, the dude, the guy with the tie, that's Vince Phillips. That's Little John's lawyer and basically business partner. I think that's one of the East Side Boys right there. I don't know who that is. Now, he looks like a young rapper. There's something about the way they're standing there and talking, like probably somebody came by to visit the studio. If anybody has any idea who that is, like I said, my typical audience probably isn't going to know, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. And I asked Bone, like Bone usually knows who all these people are, but some of these he wasn't like really sure of. Let's see, let's call this.
Casey, Billy doesn't have to get old to forget people. Unfortunately, Billy and I are both really bad about not remembering names or faces. It's a handicap.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it. Oh, the trouble with old 35 millimeter film. No, this was not 35 millimeter film. This was like that 120 camera. Like it's really, really, really cheap.
I know, Casey.
Cameras. Not very good stuff. Let's queue up another picture. I'm going to put this one to the side. This picture here, I think I know who that is. I could be wrong.
Isn't that...
That is actually... Hold on. Wait a sec.
Was he in the Lyrical Giants?
No. That is... So that was like... When the internet was kind of just happening. That's actually out in the lobby area kind of for the studio. And if you look behind him, you see a computer screen. I had a desk there. And that was like, oh, if you want to get on the internet... This is before smartphones. You can go over there to that computer. Oh, you have the internet here? So people would go over there and look at porn and stuff like that. You'd think they'd be doing research. Everybody just looked at porn. I think, I could be wrong. For some reason, I think this is Larry Blackman's son. Larry Blackman from Cameo. I could be totally wrong, but it's the only thing I can think. I know he was there a couple times, but I don't know anything else. Okay, hold on. Let me put this over here. Got that
No,
picture.
Casey, we do have pictures of Justin in the studio, but we know who he is.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I don't have that many pictures of Justin, strangely enough. Because during
We
this...
have some when he's like a little
Oh,
kid.
I got pictures of Justin as a kid. Yeah, little kid. So I'm going to call this Larry Blackman's son, question mark? Because I don't know what else to call it. So I'm going to get that ready to scan. Let me queue up another picture.
Now, that one, I think, was done with 35 millimeter because I recognize that white border on some of the pictures. I used to take all of our pictures up to the Wolf camera near the house.
Well, who had a 35 millimeter camera?
Well, you know what? Some of those pictures were with that early digital camera. Yeah, disregard.
Early digital camera? What early digital camera are you talking about?
It looked like a little 35 millimeter, but it was a digital camera. We had to plug it in to get the pictures off.
Now, I remember Paul Diaz had that digital camera that I was doing some work with, and but it was terrible looking. Anyway.
We bought a digital camera either during the first time I was pregnant. I think it was,
Man, most of this stuff's before you were pregnant, babe.
well,
Like,
that development.
once
with
we
the
started
white
having
border,
kids and all that, I didn't have time to even think about taking pictures.
but pictures developed with that white border, I got done up in Swanee. So
Okay.
that was after. It was either right before or right after we started having kids.
So this
You
guy.
didn't listen to a word I just said.
Sorry, I'm scanning and looking at pictures at the same time.
I'm helping you know when that picture was taken.
This guy here. That is in the lounge. Boy, that is an
That's
old.
an early picture. 'Cause
Oh my
the
God!
quilt's
I'm just
still up.
looking at that picture there. Like, how old is that? Because that's the lounge room where the couch was.
Mm-hmm.
This had to have been in the 80s or really early 90s because that's that room. There's no shelves on the wall. I got like a quilt. I painted. This is before I did any rap music. Probably before I met Chris Vermillion. And I kind of used it as an office. And hold on, let me look a little closer at that. There's not even a computer in there because when I first got a computer, that's where I put it.
Sleepy's dad. Sleepy?
Yeah, I think this guy was a bass player.
Another one. Pour one out for the unknown bass players. Oh, Sleepyhead.
No, Sleepyhead.
They're saying it could be Sleepyhead's dad.
That picture there? Oh, that's funny. I'm going to call this one, hold on, let me get this ready for scanning. So I got that one. And this is all work. Like I said, I wasn't even stream today, but I figured I got to do all this stuff anyway. So I'm going to y'all can watch me work here, and then we'll talk about the pictures. Here, I'm going to queue up another one here. And there's actually a little bit more of a story to this one here. Kit, I'm sure you can explain something about this here.
Oh, Simon the dog. Yeah, we had a dog. Actually, it was kind of funny. So Billy's friend Rick Austin lives next door to the Zone's location. And Billy walked over, and he's a musician too. He's a drummer. And Billy was walking over there one day I forget why, to go in there and say something, and he knocked on the door. And as he walked into Rick's house, this little dog ran into the house, like between his legs. And Billy's like, "Oh man, you got a dog." And Rick's like, "I've never seen that dog before in my life." And, fast forward, Billy put out, flyers and carried the dog around and asked all the neighbors and all that kind of stuff. Never could figure out where this dog had come from. So he became ours. And we named him Simon. And he became an absolute fixture of the studio. And we have so many pictures of people that came through the studio having their picture made with Simon the dog. And yeah, and Simon used to ride on Billy's motorcycle with him.
Yeah, I have. That's another. And once again, I'm not doing that now because like scanning these pictures there's like multiple projects that are going to come out of this. And one of them is pictures of people with this dog. The dog hung out at the studio and everybody was absolutely in love with this dog. And so it's crazy as I go through. I probably have, I don't know, 50 or 60 pictures of people. And sometimes it's like a really hardcore looking rapper holding this little dog. Like, oh, look at this dog. And actually, there's one. I put
Simon
it back in the
adored
box.
everybody, and everybody adored Simon.
Yeah, that dog was incredible. But anyway, back to this. Does anybody know who this guy is? He's sitting over there like this is early.
Is that who you were talking about, Edie, or were you talking about the previous one? Yeah, by the way, Billy, your typing style is being sort of critiqued, but also
My typing style? What are you talking about?
empathized with. But So Brent Passmore says, I've no idea if this is true, but Grok says the dreadlock guy, which is who? Oh, that was Brent, not Roman. Yeah, is D'Angelo.
No. No, it's not D'Angelo. I would have known that. No. I don't know who this guy is, and there's actually other pictures with him. I picked this one because he's got the dog.
I said the wrong person. Yeah, that is a rather long middle finger. You're not wrong.
No, you know what? There's a button there. You see, there's a button on the jacket. I think that's. Hold on. No, god dang, that is his finger. It's like, that is, I swear, that's literally his finger. Look how freaking long that is. I think I will scan that thing. I'm gonna call it. I don't know. I gotta come up with more professional names. I'm just dropping them all into the folder now, and I gotta actually start naming these some for Ansley because she's gonna put them all in a database. And I started doing that. Hold on. Actually, I might skip that one there because hold on. I got too many pictures. Okay. This is, I know what band this is, I think.
Was that the one with all the, no, wait. No, I'm thinking of the a cappella group. That's different.
I just don't know this kid's name. I'm pretty sure this was the drummer for this band. Oh, wait a sec. It just occurred to me.
You could look and see who the drummer is for that band.
Son of a gun. That's another thing. I've got stacks and stacks of CDs and
well,
cassettes.
liner notes are extremely valuable.
Yeah, look at this. Hold on.
It's kind of a bummer that we don't have liner notes anymore. I mean, we've got metadata, but it doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't tell you.
Okay. Krista, do you remember anything about Pale Blue Dot?
Vaguely.
I love their music. It's like this heavy metal stuff. We did it all on analog. I think I have a picture of the guitar player somewhere. And they would just they had these grooves, but he would just make up this stuff. It's just, it's literally one of the coolest rock bands I've ever heard in my life. But they're very weird. You want to know what the credits are? I think I figured out who's what.
What?
Frame, Robert Kimball. Muscle, Malcolm Young. Membrane, Kevin Urquhart. Rodney Mills produced. I recorded and mixed it. Oh, August 1995, and Rodney Mills mastered it. Okay, the question is, what is frame, what is muscle, and what is membrane? I'm thinking membrane might be drums.
That's reasonable.
But the name, Kevin Urquhart, doesn't seem like that guy to me.
He doesn't seem like a Kevin.
Yeah. Frame, muscle, membrane. Look at this. I mean, come on, man. You can't read it. Such, literally one of the best bands I ever saw in my life, or heard in my life. And they did the record, and then I think they broke up.
I wonder if there's anything in here about. Of course, if we look for Pale Blue Dot, we'll be finding all the stuff about the quote.
Yeah, and that's funny because I was in Nashville. It was when I was working with the Dusters on their first record, and I was over near the studio, and I saw a sticker on a car, and it said Pale Blue Dot, and I thought, oh my God, it's the band. Because I wasn't familiar with the quote. And then I looked it up and said, oh, okay, God, that's something that's said all the freaking time. Let me go ahead and scan this one because I'm pretty sure that's the drummer. Now, the next picture, while that's getting
Here's
ready.
A Pale Blue Dot band in Charlottesville.
Yeah, but they broke up really soon after. I mean.
Tony LaRocco?
I mean, I'm sure there's other bands called Pale Blue Dot.
I can think of that. Yeah.
Let me see. Let's call this.
Yeah, Carl Sagan. That's right.
Let me scan this.
Tanner says frame would be drums, not skins. I don't know.
Frame? No, it was membrane. I got to listen to this thing. I mean, I can still hear the songs. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Just because she doesn't like da-da-da-dum. And you couldn't, the vocals were really quiet, so you couldn't always tell what he was saying. But the grooves were just fucking amazing. All live, no edits. If they made a mistake, they're like, hey, that's just what it is. And we did it straight down to 16 track. Boom. Nothing, just boom, done. And we did the whole album in like a couple days. Skins his drums. Yeah, but it's like membrane. Frame, muscle, and membrane.
Thanks for following Captain Beefheart over on Twitch. We appreciate you.
Oh, wait, it says, I'm looking at the credits. Okay. Thanks, Jay Clark. So Jay Clark was involved in this. Bullhead Clap. It was somehow tied in with Bullhead Clap. Paul Diaz is on here. I don't know why. I mean, none of this was done at Tree Sound, but he does thank them because it was all these people. A lot of people hung out together.
What's the album called?
It's just called. I think it's just. Oh wait. Oh, it says "Welcome to God Magnet 7."
Okay.
It's actually welcome.2. No, hold on. Yeah, welcome.2.god.magnet-7. Look that up. I would play it, but they might have, posted it up somewhere. If they released it and distributed it anywhere, then this would get demonetized. Okay, this next picture here. This is a band that Rick Beato produced, but I don't know who they are. I recognize them. I remember them. Once again, there's the dog. I guess I could send it to Rick, ask him. I've got a bunch of different bands that I did with Rick, a whole bunch of them in here. I just want to put that one in there, mainly because of the door. This one is kind of like, I'm interested because it's got the door, which is part of this other project I'm working on, like the door, right? Which I'll show in a minute. And then, hold on, let me put this one to the side. Okay, here's another one. Is there a date? Hold on, some of this. It's got some printing on the back, but it's not really a, I don't think it's a date.
Probably says Wolf Camera.
No, it says, number 7, SUW 12-1, 1 NNNNN. Plus 2AU0020. I don't think that's a date. Yeah, I got a bunch of pictures like that. I don't know who that band is. There's my Triton. I see my Triton. I'm going to call this one. Okay, hold on. Did I scan this? This band... This is a group, but I don't know who they are. This would have been... I'm looking at the pictures. Kind of hard to tell. I see the Triton, so it's already getting heavy into...
It's another one of the white border pictures. I'm telling you, those are after we moved up to Swanee.
Yeah, but we moved up to Swanee pretty early.
Well, in 2001. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm just going to call this Mystery Band. The guy's got some sort of hand signal going on there. What's he doing?
I see that. I was wondering what that was, like specifically.
He looks dangerous. You know what I remember about this band? And hold on, I want to scan this one because I want to get close up on this one. Hold on. What's funny about this one?
Brent, is that the same CD that Billy's got there with the car on it?
What now?
Brent says they found Pale Blue Dot CD on eBay for $59.
What?
Or
hey,
best
it's
offer.
a good record, man. I got to tell you, it is freaking really good. Hold on. I want to scan this one and then blow it up on the screen so you can see closer because there's something that I remember about this now. I'm going to call this Mystery Band 1. This is the first real
How
mystery.
are you going to ever sort through your names?
Well, I name them quickly when I'm scanning, and then when I go through, I rename them all. I actually
this when
think
you're
about
going
it.
through?
And then I'm going to give them to Ansley, and she's going to do something way more organized than me.
Okay.
And part of this is like I got to get all this to Ansley. It's been like a week and a half since we talked on the phone. She's going to put them in a database. So while we're doing the other stuff, we can search for the pictures. There's hundreds of these
That's
things.
interesting. So that CD on eBay is the one thing that Brent or 1250 TV can find on that particular band.
If you're into rock music, and especially kind of heavy rock and all that, it's just great. Okay, hold on. So let me pull this one up here real quick. Okay. What I like about this picture is like the guy here with the hat looks like a typical, like maybe, he's in a rap group or something like that. This guy looks a little harder. The two guys here, this dude looks hard. Like he's making some sort of sign there. Maybe it's a gang sign or something like that. Look at his face, his hair, and all that. The dude here, and I remember these guys being in the studio. I just remember like thinking like they don't all seem like they, but he did not look like he fit in with them. But he was totally part of this group. And
what did they each?
I have no idea. There were so many, and this to me, this looks more like a hip hop thing than like a rap thing, right? Because the hip hop groups would tend to be more like. Kind of more like a band, in a way, even if they weren't all playing instruments. There's like more of a band element to it.
Mm-hmm. Eminem and Snoop Dogg.
And something about these guys, I don't know, tells me Augusta, but I could be wrong. I don't know. There's something about this that looks like, not this guy in the hat. These three here look like they could be from Augusta, Georgia. Just saying. So this is Mystery Band number 1. If everybody knows who Mystery Band number 1 is, please let me know. Okay, next I've got, Angry. This is Angry Guy number 2. I think, hold on, let me see if there's a date on this one. No date. I could be wrong. I think this is a band that Rick had over at the studio when we were working together. I think this is one of the guys in that band. The funny thing about rock bands, and this is one of the reasons I got out of doing rock and roll and went into rap music. I got so sick of rock, especially in the 90s. I feel like the rock bands in the 90s really took themselves a little too seriously. And I do remember this guy being very, 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 very serious about what he was doing. And like, we're the band. And I'm like, okay, you're a fucking rock band. And you're all right. Whereas the rap guys, publicly, they're like all these tough guys and all that. But when you actually work with them in person, they're all really cool. And nobody's like, for the most part, the vast majority of them weren't ever like,
the whole ego thing was a lot less prominent on rap projects than it was in rock projects.
But I think this is an Atlanta band. This is from Atlanta, an Atlanta band. And I just can't remember that. Usually with these pictures, there'll be a picture of one guy and then you'll see another picture of him with other guys. This is just this lone picture here, and I'm pretty sure he was in one of the, because Rick was like bringing all these rock bands through that. I was so over rock at that time. I was glad to get out of it. But hold on, I'm going to queue up another picture here. Hold on, let me start.
That's right, Brewer. The artiste mentality.
God, I think I'm going to have too many pictures to do on the stream. I got a bunch here. Hold on. Let me pick out some of the better ones. I've got so many here. God. Oh. I'm going to call that guy. Oh, shoot. I named him the wrong thing. Hold on. This is Angry Dude number 2. Okay, hold on. Because I've already got an Angry Dude number 1. Angry Dude 2. Okay. This is... No, I'll skip him. This is actually Angry Dude number 3, but I've already got another picture of him. Actually, I think I scanned this picture already. Now I'm looking at it. I think he was in Kate Simpkins' band or something like that. Another person that took themselves very, very, very... And I'm not saying they weren't good musicians, but... Oh, this says 1999. People would get really serious about shit and get really worked up and stressed up about stuff. What got me was that the rappers had more on the line. Like these guys come from more poor backgrounds. It's not like they're got college educations or like they got to make it in a rap or I don't know what, right? Whereas most of these people, like there's another pathway for them. And things go wrong in sessions. Sometimes things aren't right, or they got to. And people on the rock sessions would get so wigged out. I'm like, ah, and wigged out. And this is what's going on here. He's stressed out about maybe a tone, or maybe there's a slight buzz in the background. Like, who cares about buzz? You're never gonna hear it when the guitar's playing. Something like that. You get these rappers in. It's all good, man. It was all good. It was never like people freaking out. Oh my God! I mean, this is just a small portion of the pictures. I just grabbed a bunch today. Let me see if I can find some that are a little more interesting. Okay, I'll do this one because I really like her hair. Okay. Hold on. Is there anything on the back? No date. Okay. Okay, this...
Big Muppet energy, yes. Sorry, go on.
Okay.
Aw, there's Simon again. She's pretty. Who's that? I guess the point is we don't know.
Yeah, so I'm just going to call this... God, I got so many... That's the other thing, too. These pictures, like, they're cross-categorized. This is, like, part of the Simon collection. We still have that couch. Oh, my God.
I'm sure that Ansley can handle some cross... God, what did you just say? It's not cross... cross-categorizing.
Cross-categorizing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cross-categorize these.
We don't want to cauterize anything right now.
Oh, yeah. Bad idea. Anyway, I just liked her hair. I have no idea who this is. Oh, thanks, Jay. I'm going to call this...
Thanks, Jay.
Pretty girl, pretty hair, Simon. It's the only thing I can think of. All right. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me do this. I got a whole process here.
Yeah, that is the same dog, Two-Headed Monster Jams.
Yeah, same dog. Okay, do overview. Yeah, I mean, this just goes on and on and on. I mean, a lot of these are... Oh, hold on. This is in the wrong pile. This needs to go... Oh, wait, why is that in that pile? Okay, hold on. Okay, we're going to move on to something else here. Slightly different theme here. Okay. Some of these people are still unknown, though, so it still kind of fits in. But it brings another aspect into the whole story. Which, just right before the stream, another mystery got added to this whole part. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. So, in the studio, I had a desk. And hold on, let me pull up these pics right here. It's, let's see, where did I put that? It's, oh no, not that. Oh, hold on. I just named this wrong. Hold on. Okay, so let me go back to here. Where is it? It's is it this? Where did I put this? Oh, hold on. I got to do it like this. Desktop, scan. Okay, here we go. Desk. Okay, so I had bought this little, like, desk at a antique store. And you can see it right here. So this is Paula de Don, the producer, very famous, successful producer, and David Banner right here. This would have been in the late 90s before these guys had money. I think Paula's showing his shoes because he got some new shoes. You see the desk he's sitting in? I bought that a long, long time ago. I always had it sitting in the studio, and people would come in and sit in it. And when I got into the rap projects, they would often write in the desk. And the only other picture I have it scanned so far is this. This is my buddy George Morales from the band World Soul. This is earlier and at an earlier time because you can see the motorcycle in the background is still parked in the studio. This is like I finally had to move. The motorcycle literally would be parked in the studio and people had to rock around it. But finally it got so busy that it's like, okay, I got to move it. But what would end up happening is rappers would come in and they would write in the studio. And then they'd go off and do the lyrics. And they would always be like, do you have some paper? And I'd be like, oh, sure, I got some paper. And then eventually I was like, oh, I'm going to get a spiral notebook, stick it under the desk. And there'd be pens and sometimes like colored markers because sometimes people would want to draw. They would fill up the notebook, and then I would toss that in a box and go get another blank spiral notebook and stick it in the desk. And then people, oh, there's a spiral notebook in there. So then they'd write in there, and then they'd do their lyrics, and I'd toss it back under the desk. I'd throw it in the box, and I kept doing it over the years. Because of one of these projects that I'm working on, there's been a couple meetings, and they wanted to know what I had from the past. And it's like, oh, I think I got some books where I collected lyrics and stuff. So I ended up with this. This is what I've found so far. Okay. This is, well, you can't really see. Spiral notebooks. There's 20 spiral notebooks in here.
It's like
some
some
of this
binders
is just
too.
Loose paper, like just scattered around. Boxes and boxes of lyrics. And when Bone Crusher was here recently, he just randomly grabbed one, and it was a hit song. I can't remember what it was. I pulled some out, so like I found this. Okay, Put Your Hood Up by Little John. Put your hood up. This is the lyric, the original lyrics. Like I don't know if it was in his head or he just made it up right then. That's that. He had another song called I Like Them Girls. Here you go. Said what he wrote out while they're in there. Okay, let's go record it. Bone said this was something. I can't remember what the hell this is.
That's Bone's writing.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Bone. And then there's some stuff with Lyrical Giant stuff on here. And there's a bunch. There's oh, and I like this. I don't know why this is even here. It's like the video treatment for Little John. I Like Them Girls. And it's like it's like this is some label shit right here. And it's like explaining how they're going to make the video and all that. And then on the back, somebody wrote some more lyrics. And then there's like some Full-Time Family stuff, which I'm going to scan a picture from the Full-Time Family project, which was some Little John stuff. So the desk was really important. And I actually still have it, and I have it here at the house, but then before the stream, I was like, where the hell did I put it? Because it was sitting out here in the drum room, and I told somebody to move it, and I walked around, I can't find it. Like, we live in the country. I don't know where it could have walked off to. I'm telling you, Crystal, that desk is still somewhere in this house. I just don't know where it is. Like, right before the stream, I wanted to show it, and I actually can't find it. But I have more pictures of the desk. So let me go backwards here to the ones that are more interesting. I kind of ordered them. I didn't realize I had so many pictures. The desk, and it actually ties into like this other project. Well, that eventually I'll talk about. But, okay, no, it's this here. Okay, so this is Six Shot. Six Shot is a New Orleans rapper, and he was part of this project called Full-Time Family that Lil Jon had put together. And we did a whole album. It was Six Shot, China White, Bo Hagen, and Don Ute from Jamaica. I got some great stories about these people. Oh my God. But this is Six Shot sitting at the desk writing some lyrics. So I'm going to scan this because this is going to be something, some people want this stuff. So I got to scan this stuff because they're like, do you have any pictures of people sitting in that desk? I'm like, I think so.
I promise, Eddie, I did not throw the desk away. The person who keeps losing it is Billy.
Remember when I couldn't find my Gibson acoustic guitar for weeks, and then it was actually just leaning up in a corner? So I want to scan that. I love Six Shot, man. He's a cool dude, man. The reason he is called Six Shot is because he's been shot 6 times. You know, it's this interesting thing. Like, I'd meet all these guys that were just hard and tough and came from the hood and all that, and they're like some of the coolest dudes I ever, like, just like I don't know. I think when you've been through a lot of stuff in your life, you tend to be a little bit more, in a way, compassionate to other people, or at least empathetic, and just like hang with them. And
Well, you get a little perspective on what's important too.
exactly. Okay, so while I'm getting that ready to scan, what you see here, this picture is L Rock. So L Rock is a producer here in Atlanta, and he's a keyboardist and instrumentalist and just amazing. And this is from probably when we were doing the Full Contact Sports album, or either that or it could have been Bone. So you see behind him is Bone Crusher sitting in a chair. And so this might have been Bone Crusher's album Attention with Never Scared on it, or the second album, or a million other projects. But L Rock is he's been on more hit songs than most of these people combined, but you wouldn't know it because he did a lot of ghost production. He did not. He was happy to make the music. He just kind of didn't actually want the fame. He liked being. He's done really well. He kind of didn't want people to know who he was. So he. Hold on. Right. I went 6-shot desk. You know that song by. Is it Usher? That do-da-do-da-do, hey, 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 do-da-do-da-do. It's got that weird keyboard part in it. The first time I heard that on the radio, I knew who played the keyboard parts. I could just tell by the sound. But the thing is, that part's in the wrong key. It's the wrong notes for the key of the song. So I literally called up L Rock and said, hey, man, heard that song? He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, why? And he's like, I know. It's the wrong key. I was like, well, why did you do, what'd you think? I said, well, I actually made a mistake. And Lil Jon said, I like that. Do that again. He's like, but it's the wrong, no, I like it like that. And it actually really works. But super nice guy, great talent. He was in a somewhat legendary group called The Chronicle here in Atlanta that was made up of other legendary musicians. And so there he is sitting at the desk. And I'll scan that one. That one's going to go into that folder. Then we have another desk shot. Now, Crystal, you'll know who one of these people is. You might figure it out.
I can't.
Look carefully at the guy sitting in the desk.
Yeah. Well, I have to wait till it shows up on my delayed
Oh,
feed.
that's right. Oh, you're on the delay.
Well, no, I can see the current, but because of the angle of the monitor, I can't see shit.
Oh, why?
Because you know how if you look at a monitor from the side.
Oh, do I need to angle it down?
I don't know. Maybe.
I could.
I imagine you could.
I'm good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? You said this before on a stream, and I was thinking you meant something else.
Well, that's Jeremy at the desk, isn't it?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's Jeremy Thornton. It's still true. So, hold on. Let me.
You could ask Jeremy who that is on the couch.
I don't know who's on the couch.
Jeremy would know.
L Rock. Let me scan that. Boom. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. I have another picture of him, but I realized I'm killing two birds with one stone here. Hey, what's up? Scanning pictures. Oh, we got somebody here.
Hi, chat. How's it going?
Yo.
Y'all say hi, Tap.
How's it going? Yeah, I'm scanning pictures today.
Also, old photos and stuff?
Yeah, for of the desk and things. Hey, do you know where that desk is?
Which one?
The little old school
The one in
desk.
this picture that Jeremy's sitting
Isn't that
in.
at the zone?
No, I brought it back, and then I put it on the driveway and cleaned it, and then it was sitting in the small drum room back here. And then today I was like, I'm going to put it behind me for the live stream. And I'm like, I can't find it, but where would it have gone? Oh, wait a sec. It is back at the zone. You actually helped me bring it back to the zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you figured that out.
Yeah, because I knew I was going to be doing this interview. Well, that makes sense. Now I don't have to bring it down there on Friday. Maybe I can get Kane to sit in the desk for the interview. That would be hilarious. Bone ain't going to fit in that desk, I'll tell you that much.
No.
Oh, my God. Okay, so we got L Rock scanned.
Bone didn't fit in that desk back in the day when...
Ever.
Yeah.
Bone has never...
Bone's just a monster, he's just a mountain of a person.
Oh, so what's in the box?
Which box?
Mr.
SJK.
Yeah. I keep thinking it says Easy JK. I don't know why. Because I'm an
Was
idiot.
it a box in the studio with Billy, or was it a box in the picture?
God,
Yeah,
I'm so
so-
glad I know where that desk is now. I was panicking earlier. I was like, where did the desk go? Did somebody and like where we live is like, we're
would
in the
be
country. We have a
really
lot of
weird
land
for
about.
it to
Like,
just-
who's going to come steal a desk?
Yeah.
Just even getting it off the property, if you didn't drive your car in here, like you'd have to carry it like a half mile off the property. Our driveway's like the way it comes around, it's like a half mile to my house.
Hey, Cellar Ridge has a great, recommendation for figuring out who these people are. You should reach out to Billy Hume. I think a lot of these photos were taken at his studio. He should know.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Here's the thing people need to realize too about me. Let me go back to this picture here so I can explain this to people. Okay. I have an excuse. This is how this other studio was, like the setup. Like this is the control room. The door that everybody came through is behind me. The
That
window
door with
here,
all the signatures on it is behind Billy.
yes, and the window into the sound room is behind me. I don't really
Well, that's to your right, but
but it's kind of behind me too, because when I originally built the room, I intended to face the window, but then I realized I like the sound this way better. So a lot of work happened where everybody was behind me. There would be tons of people in there. I had my back to everybody most of the time, so people would come in like, there's Billy Hume working. I might turn around and wave quickly, but it's not like I was sitting there.
And when Billy's working, some of you have witnessed this on some of the live streams, but that's what he's doing. He's not really paying attention to who is in the studio. He's not listening to conversations. It's none of that. He's not aware even of most of that because he's working. And there was so much work during these years, and it was just the sheer volume, and a lot of it was relatively high pressure stuff, even though a lot of the sessions were cool and the people he was working with were cool. There was a lot, some of these sessions, there was a lot riding on them. And so Billy was extremely focused and totally, I mean, it's funny when Bone came over not that long ago and we were all talking with him, and he was talking about people that had come through the studio, and Billy's like, when were they there?
Yeah, he's like, Busta Rhymes came through the studio. I'm like, don't you remember? And I'm like, no. And I didn't record him. I mixed stuff for Busta, but it was set through the internet. But yeah, Busta Rhymes came in and hung out. We came downstairs and talked to him. I'm like, I was probably busy. I probably was like, who the hell is this guy? I'm working. Tell him to get the hell out of here. I don't know, man. I get very focused on things. I don't know if you noticed that or not. There's so much you could say.
I'm just,
Okay, hold on.
I don't have to.
I'm getting some work done here. This is good. This will be good for Friday.
Two tuners where... Oh, and SJK was asking about the box in the picture. So that was a picture or two back. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, it's crazy looking at some of these. Oh, look at the bass. Oh, hold on. I'm going to go back to this. Let me come back to here. You see that bass right there? Mm-hmm. That was a bass guitar that I think Justin let me borrow. And when I was working with Rick, it's just a cheap Japanese bass. And then I started working with Rick, and a lot of times the bands wouldn't have a bass, or we would need to redo the bass parts. So we'd just use this cheap one. And then Justin wanted it back. So that's when I went out and bought the nice Fender bass I have now, the big orange one. It's like, okay, I got to go buy a real bass. But that's that bass. I forgot about that. Oh, hold on a second.
White stomp boxes above the console. So, let's see.
Oh, yeah. I always keep a guitar tuner. Actually, I have one here right now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. You can kind of see. There's a tuner right here. It's actually probably one of the same tuners. I always have a guitar tuner set up in the studio on my console so that at any point, if there's a guitar player or bass player in here, they can just hit a note and tune. So nobody has to plug in. I might have had 2 hooked up for some reason at some point. I've got like 3 of these things, so who knows. Okay, next picture here. This is another. This is Dan Hannon, who is a artist and producer. So this would have been when he had his band King Conga before he got into production. So this was another Rick Beato project, and we set up a temporary studio in the lounge. This is like across the little kind of lobby entry area for the zone.
couch is behind him.
That's the couch. And we had to knock out this whole album. So we had another room in there for working out guitar parts, or sometimes we'd be doing like
Look at that
drum
monitor.
editing, and Dan sitting. What now?
I said, look at the monitor.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those older monitors. And
Yeah, Sup Mellow recognizes the 97 G3 Power Mac, and Tanner recognized the old Line 6 pod.
yes, I still have that Line 6. Actually, I think I got 3 of them up. Man, those things sounded pretty cool. I didn't necessarily like the heavy distortion thing ones, but kind of the mid-rangey, twangy stuff was just incredible. You blend that in with an amp sound, and it would just be great. But yeah, there's somebody else sitting in the desk. There's that damn desk again.
Stella Ridge wonders what software is running
For what?
in that on the.
Oh. I mean, probably Pro Tools. I didn't use anything but Pro Tools. Well, when I first started getting into digital, I was actually using opcode. What was it? Vision Studio Pro?
I think it was called Vision Studio.
Yeah,
Pro.
Vision Studio by Opcode. Opcode got bought by Gibson, and Gibson ruined the company. So Opcode made computer-based MIDI sequencing software that to this day I still think is better than anything I've worked on today. There's something about the way it was laid out. They integrated digital audio into it, where you could record some audio into it. And it was actually my roommate and sometimes engineer Jonathan Cooper that was like, oh, you know, that you could record stuff into there. I'm like, oh my God, look. And I think it was just a handful of tracks, and I literally just record stuff in using like an 1/8-inch jack. I didn't even have an interface. I was like, oh, let me just try getting an adapter and plug it into the 1/8-inch jack. And that's the very first stuff that I did digitally.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
And then I got into
Cakewalk,
Pro
Michael.
Tools.
I don't think Billy ever used any Cakewalk.
No. It was Pro Tools, and mainly because Paul Diaz, who had Tree Sound, he had gotten into Sound Tools, which was for mastering, and then he talked a lot of shit about Pro Tools, because Sound Tools was actually incredible, and then Pro Tools came out and it was kind of like a shitty version of that. But the thing is, you know, in our, I can't remember all the detail, but I think Pro Tools was able to like outmaneuver them in the business and did some stuff to kind of fuck the other company. Sound Tools went out of business, or maybe got bought out. But it was the only other thing at the time that I could really get that seemed professional. And I got something called an Audio Media 3, which I put in my Mac 9600, and it was only 8 tracks, and it had 2 inputs and 2 outputs, and it was just RCA jacks. That was it. But it had a SMPTE in and out, so I could record a SMPTE tone to my reel-to-reel analog machine and send that out to the machine, so it would literally sync up the computer. So I could get 16 tracks analog and 8 more tracks digitally that would sync up with my analog machine. But in that original Pro Tools software, they had something called track allocation. So even though you only had 8 tracks, it was really 8 voices. So let's say in one part of the song, something didn't play. You could do something on another track and share the voice as long as they weren't playing at the same time. So I could eke out a couple more tracks sometimes. And then I moved on to like a Digi 01 that you can see. I still have my Digi 01 interface back here. So that picture there is probably actually, hold on, let me look.
Yeah, Sup Mellow was saying if that was a Digi 01, it might have been Pro Tools 5 or 6, but if it was prior to that...
No, it would have been... Good question. Hold on, let me pull it up and look. I'm kind of curious, because there's actually a bit of detail in this picture. Hold on, let me go... okay, hold on. Let's just look. Oh, there's all sorts of things in here. Yeah, there's the Digio 1. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. There's the Digio 1. There's the pod, the old Mac. There's my external drive down there, my SCSI drive. That's definitely Pro Tools. It would have been Pro Tools like... I skipped some versions at a certain point because I stepped up. Mm-hmm. And it was also changing. So it would have been like 6 or 7 or something like that. Man, so long ago. Oh, my God. It's just bonkers. Dan barely fits in that desk.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him. He's a big dude.
Yeah, Billy used to throw boomerangs like as a hobby.
Yeah, not those boomerangs, though. Those are more decorative boomerangs. The real boomerangs that I have, they really fly. Okay, hold on. Let me cue up another picture here. Okay, this is... Okay, Crystal.
Hmm? Oh, yeah. That's Jules.
Yep. Is he sitting at the desk there? I think he's sitting at the desk. Hold on. Yep, he's at the desk. It's kind of dark. You can't really tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, so that is... that would have been... Hold on, is there a date on that? No, but that was when Justin Hale was in the studio. And I can tell that if you look behind him, like on the right side of the picture, you'll see an Akai DR16, which was a digital hard disk 16-track recorder. Things were moving so fast back then, and I was starting to make good money, but it was really competitive. I bought that thing for $3,000 or something like that, and literally used it on a handful of sessions, and it kind of instantly became obsolete because Pro Tools came out and ADATs. ADATs kind of made more sense sometimes because Pro Tools is still not capable of handling the amount of tracks yet, right? So I bought that thing, and it sounded great. I still got it in the back. Not that it works. But that's what that is. I don't think we did his band on that, though. I just had it. It was like, it's crazy to look back at the amount of changes that happened during that time so fast, going from analog to digital, multiple digital formats to a Pro Tools Mix Plus system in like 4 years or something. It's bonkers. It's just bonkers to think about how fast it all happened.
It's kind of funny, too, some of these pictures. That camping cup...
Wait, what?
Like this is neither here nor there, but we still have and use that cup.
What camping cup? There?
Right at the bottom of the picture on the right.
Oh, that red one?
No, the one that says REI. Don't you recognize that?
Oh! The coffee cup.
Yes. We backpacked with that thing. Most of our backpacking trips and then all these camping trips with the kids, and we're still using that thing. It's still in the camping supplies.
That's kind of bonkers, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like that. We'll hold on to stuff. Oh, wow. Okay, here, let me cue up another one here. Got a couple more. And these aren't as cool because it's not people actually sitting in the desk, but I figured, well, let me just put everything up there that has anything to do with this desk so that nobody can say I didn't get all the desk pictures. Hold on, let me get this ready real quick. So that is somebody, some dude, sleeping on the couch. There's the desk. I might as well scan it. Have it all there. Just got to get all the work done.
Is that one of the weirdo, goofy tabloid story things on the desk? I don't know.
Hold on. WHIS Whisper Link desk.
Boy, that
Boom.
guy's red. Is that just my monitor?
He's pretty red looking. There's all sorts of little clues in this picture. There's stuff on the desk, and I can't see it that well. When I scan it, I'll look. I'm even looking at that piece of paper on the floor, like maybe that'll cue us into when this was and who that was.
Well, we got a cordless phone on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Got the cordless phone. Why is this taking so long to scan? Okay, hold on. Let me make sure that scan came. That was acting weird. Hold on a sec.
Mr. SJK asks Billy if you ever had Roland Romplers, like a JV880 or an XV1080, and so on.
Is that like one of those workstation type things?
ED says that's David Gilmour on the couch there.
No, that is not David Gilmour. Hold on. I want to scan that and then look at it in detail. Hold on. I have no idea who that is. It's like he doesn't even look like he belongs there. He does not look like he's at a guy that would be at a recording session. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see who else do I got. Okay, here's another one. Oh, look, Crystal, look at what's on the desk.
I'm looking at that. I recognize it, but I'm not.
It's one of those photo albums in that box.
Oh, yes.
That I've been slowly pulling pictures out of. They're actually, you know how they're like in these kind of cellophane type sleeves?
Yeah,
I literally broke one today getting a picture out.
You gotta be careful.
Well, they're old and I'm impatient.
Yeah. It's the impatient part that I'm telling you need to be careful about.
Okay, hold on. Let me scan this and then I'm going to zoom in on it. I'm trying to figure out who this guy is. He looks like maybe he's like the foreman for a lawn crew. Like these guys.
Tanner says he just played a big round of golf and needs a nap.
Maybe that's too.
Bloor says no. The Romplers were rack instruments used by composers too.
What? Oh, like a synthesizer or something?
Yeah.
No, I. It's weird. I actually never had as much gear as. I've never had as much gear as most people that I know. I mean, now I have a lot of gear just because I pulled it all out and set it all up. But,
Oh, wait, yeah. Mr. SJK, though, says yes like that when you were just talking about it a minute ago.
Okay, hold on. I want to pull up this picture right here. This dude. I'm wondering about this mystery dude here. Hold on.
Yeah, the photo albums were a lot of fun. Billy started after noticing, people kept asking for pieces of paper. Because if you guys remember, if any of you watched some of the Rehab Fly on the Wall sessions, where I was talking about the difference between kind of a more rock and roll workflow compared to a more rap or hip hop workflow, where, a lot of the more rock or country bands or singer-songwriters, these kind of folks will work out their songs ahead of time, and Billy will do pre-production with them so that everybody's on the same page and they can practice before they come into the studio. Very much like, a relic, not a relic, but comes out of the analog workflow days, because you needed to be ready to get that down. Whereas a lot of a hip-hop rap workflow, they would work out the songs on the fly in the studio, and welcomed a lot of input from whoever happened to be around, and, best ideas won. But that meant that a lot of times people were writing their ideas down, writing lyrics, writing all kinds of stuff down. And that's so that Billy, as he said earlier, started to get the idea that he needed to have notebooks in the studio. So he started buying those notebooks that he was showing us earlier. And people were using them. And the more people used them, the more we were kind of like, this is cool. We started, and people would do tags, like graffiti tags. So that's when we started.
Art books.
Yeah, that's when we started buying actual sketchbooks and having Crayola markers and stuff around so that people could draw, sketch, do their graffiti tags, all that kind of stuff. No, cyber audio gear was not more inexpensive back then. I mean, there are a select few things that if you were to buy the same thing now would be more expensive, but mostly, no, it was insanely expensive. Things are much more affordable now as far as recording gear goes. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So I always had this, it's like a plastic tote that people might say, put their cleaning supplies in to carry around. Or if anybody has been in stables with horses, you might put, grooming supplies in them and carry them around. Well, we had markers and sketchbooks and notebooks, and then at a certain point we started leaving out photo albums too, because I was getting all these pictures printed, and so that's what Billy was talking about, that photo album and that
I don't know where the art books are at. I did want to answer a question. Cyber Auto asked, was gear more inexpensive back then?
Yeah, I was just talking about that.
Oh, no.
Right. That's
Way
a
more
hard no.
expensive. Like back then, I mean, it's all relative. Like if you wanted to buy a Neumann U87 back then, it was like $800 or $900, right? But you got to realize we all made less money back then. So I think a U87, or maybe it's like $1,000, but now they're like $3,000 or something. I don't know. But a good mic, there weren't companies making clones of U87s and stuff like that. Nowadays, you can buy decent mics for really cheap. There's so many companies out there. And you also got to realize, like back then, we have more of a global market now. And so you got stuff made in other countries, and then they come in here and they're cheaper. And you can say whatever you want about that, but by God, it made a lot of us be able to work. I got my first Neumann in the 80s. It was a TLM 103, and it was like $850 or something like that. Maybe it was 900. I don't know. It was a lot, around $1,000, something like that. But there was no comparable mic anywhere near that price. And the only reason I was even able to buy it is somebody kind of invested some money in me. Not that they ever made it back, but at least they were willing to help me out.
Yeah, because Cyber Audio had the question, well, then how did y'all afford it then? And that's,
I worked my ass off.
Yeah, that's
you can get a computer nowadays and an interface, and for a few $1,000, like maybe $1,000 or $2,000, you can have unlimited tracks and virtual mic pre's and all that. My 16-track analog machine, which was here, let me pull down this picture here. Where is it?
And here's the other piece of that, y'all. I mean, this was during a time when we could actually make good money.
Yeah, it's all relative. Like, for instance, right here, this machine, my analog machine, this is back in the 80s. That cost me $12,000. And when I say
80s money.
Yes, in 80s money. I had to get a bank loan for it, and it was only the remote and the machine, not the cables, not the patch bay, not anything else. And I had to pay that. It took me years to pay off, and I was painting houses and then recording bands for like $10 an hour, right? I bought it for myself. I wasn't trying to start a business. I wasn't really trying to become a record producer and mixer. I was trying to be a rock star, and I was like, I'll record bands, and I got good at it. But the world was different back then. Gas hardly cost anything. We actually had competition. People want to say America is a free market. It is not. Right now you have a handful of companies that own basically all the grocery stores. So you might think there's competition, but it's all the same freaking companies. Same with the gas companies. Same with so many things else. They just keep raising the prices. Inflation, to a certain degree, is absolute bullshit. When you saw, there's inflation and we're paying more, and yet these companies are making absolute record all-time profits. It's all freaking fake. I'm sorry. That's my opinion on it. Things were a little bit different back then. That was probably back at the time before it was legal for corporations to fund political candidates. Like corporations weren't allowed to give money to political candidates. And then certain people thought that should be legal, which is not, we're in this situation. The world was different back then. I could live not at the Zone. I had to work a lot more because I had to make a house payment and pay for all this gear. But in my previous studio, where I had an 8-track studio, I worked a lunch shift at a Subway sandwich shop. And then I would occasionally record bands. Now, I wasn't doing great. I was still sometimes I'm going to eat chips for lunch, right? But I could get by and play with my bands and do shit. I could actually afford to live with somebody, like as a roommate, and do this. And then I was able to get this house, which I had to get a cosigner for. I was painting houses, hanging wallpaper, recording some bands. So yes, the equipment was more expensive relative to what it is now today. Like in 80s, Crystal, $12,000 for that in today's dollars would be like $80,000 or something like that, right? Or $56,000 or something.
Yeah, Michael was guessing around 50,000.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I was only able to do it because my parents co-signed a loan for me. I made the payments. My parents weren't rich, but they're well off enough where they could say, go to the bank, if he doesn't make the payments, we'll make the payments. And they never had to. So that's how I got the loan. There's no way I could have gone to a bank as a house painter and said, well, you'll loan me $12,000 for a tape machine. They'd be like, what? So thank God my parents, I was very, very, very fortunate that they're supportive of me. And they said, we think you won't screw up. We'll put our names on here. You got to make the payments. Don't fail. I'm like, yeah. But the world was different. I remember never thinking about the price of gas. You never thought about the price. Gas was so cheap, you didn't even think about it. I remember it being 56 cents a gallon.
When I was in college, it was 63 cents a gallon.
Yeah. You didn't think about stuff like that. Food wasn't insanely expensive. And now we're, as much as people want to say freedom in America, yeah, we still have some freedom, but we basically live in an oligarchy now. So people can complain and blah, blah, blah and say all this, but really we're just all getting ripped off. It's not very fair to younger people. People look at me and they think I was rich or something like that. It's like, I've done all right, but I'm not rich. I still have to work. But the reason I was able to do this shit in the past is because we didn't live in this stupid society we live in now where, healthcare costs, it's just a big scam. I had a tooth break right here about 3 years ago or something like that.
And I'll put in a little insert. This was during Billy's YouTube days, and so you have no idea how much post-production work went into erasing the fact that
I had this little. I couldn't afford to get the tooth replaced. It was just the top of it just broke off. It just broke, and it was like the root was. It was like it didn't hurt. And I got this little retainer, but I couldn't talk with it. So in my videos, I'm trying to make sure not to let my lip go up. So in certain videos, my lip would go up, and you can see that gap. So I'd have to draw. Oh my God. You know how much it cost me to get this tooth put in? I had to pay out of pocket $5,000.
No, $7,000.
$7,000? Oh my! Why'd you tell me that? I spent $7,000 because I don't have I'm self-employed, but my insurance doesn't cover stuff like that. So it's like I had to pay out of pocket $7,000, which I didn't have for years. I had to spend years with this freaking broken tooth. And saved up the money because I need to make videos. And I didn't want a big hole in them. So $7,000 for this thing, I'm telling you, they did it in a couple hours. It's a scam, folks.
No, baby. They didn't do it in a couple hours.
No, there were several times I went in, but all combined.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it wasn't like 10 hours. It's a little piece of something. So come on, man. We live in a world now that is absolutely a scam. We are being scammed, people. At some point, y'all got to get smart about this shit, and you got to vote. You got to vote because there's people out there that want to put all the power into corporations and billionaires. Sorry, I hate to sound like that. I used to be very conservative. I voted Republican for most of my life, and then about 10 or 15 years ago, things changed. It was like, what are y'all doing? You can't put all the power in a small group of rich people because why are they rich? Well, come on, people. But the world I lived in back then was very different. That's how I could afford all this stuff. Well, this here, now this gear here, I bought for a guy who sold it to me at a ridiculously stupid rate. This was kind of a luck out right here, this kind of stuff. But all the other investments I did, it was just a different world that we could afford to actually live. And, I'm not trying to get on a big political soapbox here, but it's like, it just doesn't make any sense that, like the music business, for instance, record labels are making all-time record profits right now, billions in profits. It ain't coming down to the people who actually create the music. It's a big scam. Because Spotify and the record labels have secret deals that they won't reveal to anybody. And I personally know from having gotten royalties that my royalties kind of disappeared at a certain point. I used to get checks off records, and even though it's been years ago, I would expect it to get less and less over the years, but it kind of just dropped off, and it makes no sense. But I can't get to it unless I'm going to spend like a $250,000 on lawyers to go up against these companies. And there's something that Crystal and I can't talk about. It involves a big hit song. I'm probably owed a small fortune off this song. But they're able to kind of keep running us around in circles. It's a long story. And now there's some other stuff that came in that involves a lawyer and something else. And it's like, I'm not in a position to go after it. That's my money. And I only own a small percentage of that song. There's guys who own a lot more. There's people that probably owed a couple $1 million on this song. And they can't get to it because it's just turned into this big, massive corporate thing that's got so many layers of owners and lawyers that could just outspend us. That's not the world we lived in back then. So that's why I could afford to buy the stuff. So yeah, I worked hard, but I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to say that I worked harder. No, life was easier back then. We were lucky. We were very, very lucky. And right now, unfortunately, younger people are getting scammed. It's a great time for music. The equipment's out there. It's affordable to buy. There's great ways to distribute it. But the business, like I had somebody email me asking me about getting into the industry. I'm like, fuck the industry. Just do it on your own. Try to go out to YouTube. Just like put it on the distribution platforms for promotion. You're not going to make any money off of it. But yeah, it's a great time to make music and all that, and people are into it. But the actual business side of it and the rest of the world makes it very hard for people to actually afford to be able to even spend the time on it because we're all working. Like my mom used to stay home. You know, I remember when people's like, the mom stayed home and took care of the house. Well, only one, but now we all have to work constantly. It's not a good situation. And unfortunately, it's probably only going to get worse as long as we have monopolies. And we've got a handful of guys that are so rich that they could literally give $1 million. Elon Musk could give $1 million to every American citizen and still be the richest man on earth.
Well, he's not actually the richest man on earth anymore.
Oh, who is?
I forgot his name.
Is it Larry Ellison? Bezos?
No.
But any of those guys
Anyway.
could literally give away $1 million to every American and still be the richest person. And they're, well, why should I do it? It's like, well, you know what? It would actually be a boost for the economy, you know? But why should it even be that way? Like we all contribute to the system. And
Boy,
you know,
you did
I often
hit a soapbox today.
Sorry, I just hear people say, well, you're not working hard enough. Hey, man, I know people that work their freaking ass off and they can't get ahead. Well, they're not educated enough. Well, maybe their parents didn't have money to send them to college or they just didn't know. You know, I working on rap music changed the way I look at the world because I met these guys. I was very lucky. I had parents that went to college. They weren't rich. My dad was born poor. And he got in the military and retired a colonel. And he made all right money, had a lot of benefits. He was just really frugal and saved his money. But there was enough to support me. And they were really pushed me to, I didn't go to college and they were disappointed about that, but they saw what I was doing. So, okay, well, if you're going to do that, then get your, you know, they instructed me and they guided me. And there was a lot of good examples. My dad was a hard worker, but I do know guys that work hard and hard and hard, and they just don't have the education. They just don't know. You can't blame somebody for being born into a bad situation and not having the education. You can work hard all you want. Go work on a construction site, whatever. It doesn't mean you're going to get ahead. You know, I was very, very lucky. Sorry, I'm on the side. It just makes me so freaking angry because I think about, I know I worked hard and I know I'm talented, but when I started working on rap music, I'd meet these guys and they'd come in and they'd have gold teeth. And I was like, oh, who's this guy? And be like, yeah, I'm a CEO. It's like, whatever. And then a year later, he would have a distribution deal and an indie label distributed through a major label and have songs on the radio. I'm like, oh my God. And this is a guy who wasn't educated, but had the guts and the willpower to get through. And I realized, had I not had some of the advantages that I'd had, I don't think I would be where I'm at. I'd probably still be doing music, but I don't think I had a lot of help from the parents, but also the time I lived in. I lived in a time that was affordable. Not that my parents paid for shit. They just co-signed loans. I did work for it, but like that money went a lot further. So anyway, sorry. I'm actually going to make a video about it because people think I'm rich and I'm not, and they wonder, they look at all this gear, and there is a reason why I have the gear. I just didn't sell anything or give anything away. But I also made sacrifices, but I also lived in a different time. Sorry to go on that thing about it, but God
I do want to
it.
address, you know, folks are tripping out over what dental work here costs. And somebody says, oh, we got taken to the cleaners. No.
That's what it costs.
That's what it freaking costs. It's insanity.
I take a certain medication. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's just like some medication I have to take regularly. And every 3 months I have to go see a doctor because this is one of those things. They just got to check on you. I go in, they weigh me, they do some other things. She comes in and says, how you doing? I'm fine. How's the blah, blah, blah doing? Fine. All right. Signs little thing, sends me off. I just have to go in there and talk to them.
They won't do telehealth either.
Yeah. So my insurance long story, for all of a sudden we found out my insurance doesn't cover the doctor's office anymore. So I got to pay out of pocket. So I went like 2 weeks ago. So Chris was like, we're going to have to pay out of pocket. It was $100. That's not an insane amount, but $100 to walk into an office and have the doctor walk in and go, how you doing? Fine. How's blah, blah, blah? Okay, it's going to be at the pharmacy later today. Here, $100 for that?
Which doesn't even address what it costs to actually get the medication.
Yeah, the medication.
It's different. Anyway, yeah, it's nuts. I'm sitting here in hindsight, frick, $7,000. We should have booked 2 tickets to Europe and had your tooth done there. Of course, we would have had to, have a place to stay and eat and all that too. But geez. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember when Sam Ransom was living in the Philippines.
Yep.
Years ago, and he said,
thought about that with the
he'd say, if you wanted to get your teeth cleaned or get a cavity filled or whatever, it literally is like a free market. There's just like dentists down the street. They got their sign on. You walk in, you go, how much is it? Oh, it's this much. Okay, this guy down here is cheaper. They actually compete, and it's like it's nothing. It's like, I can't remember what he said.
It was $25 to get your teeth cleaned.
Yeah, $25, and it's just like nothing, and they're doing
Which, by
fine
the way,
work.
guys, it's more like $100 to $200 depending on where you live in the States.
Yeah, and the other thing with the doctor's office here in the States is like if you go into any of these offices and ask them what anything costs, they don't actually know. That is not free market. That's not like competition. Like, how can you have a free market when they don't even know what it costs? And half the people that go to doctor's office don't even know what they're paying. Oh, the insurance takes care of it, right? They go in and it's like they don't even know. Because I remember I had a mole and I had that, oh my God, I got skin cancer. And I wanted to go get that mole taken off and checked out. And they had no idea what it cost. And to cut off a little piece of a mole and like send it in to get it checked out, is this cancerous? Was like $1,500 or $2,000. It's like, come on, man. Give me a razor blade. I'll cut it off myself. My kid's got a microscope. We got a microscope kit around here somewhere. Anyway, what was I doing here? I guess I should get back to scanning. Sorry, it just makes me so angry. And especially since, the way I used to look at politics and the world back in the day, and it's all stood on its head now. Like, oh, yeah, free market and all that. It's like, oh, yeah? Now we got idiots up there doing stuff that would literally be called, literally communist,
Like if you
authoritarian
actually
dictatorship
know
crap.
what the definition is. There was a question about your Ramza mixer.
Okay, I'll talk about something else besides this crap.
What'd you think of the Ramza mixer?
I loved it, actually. It was all -10 unbalanced cables. So, like, and this is the other thing I think is kind of funny. Like, I get hell sometimes people see my 16-track. I still got it over here, and they're like, oh, it's a Tascam 16-track. That thing was like, all the line inputs and outputs were unbalanced -10 signals with RCA jacks. That's what I ran to my 16-track. I didn't really understand that stuff back then. I just knew that I was able to record, right? My records, actually that record that I was showing earlier by these guys, Pale Blue Dot, recorded on a 1-inch 16-track. All the cabling was -10 unbalanced. Sounds amazing. And, hold on, let me write something here. Bone doorway. And the cool thing about the Ramza mixer, actually, let me pull a picture up here again. Okay, here's what's cool about this mixer. So you had 16 channels here. So if I was recording a band, these were my mic pre's right here. And had EQ and stuff on them. The way that I monitored was this section right here. It had an inline monitoring section right there. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. And these were returns from the tape machine. So while I'm tracking, you'd hit a little button and these would only send out. So I could send them out of these 4 subgroups here if I want to mix them together, or just individual direct line outputs. And then there was these other line inputs that if these were acting as mic pre's, these were just my returns from the tape machine. Now, I couldn't do any EQ or anything, but you could pan. So, like the middle knob, it's one of those knobs where there's like there's like a narrow one and then a fatter one on the bottom. So, the top one was a volume, and then the fat one around the bottom was panning. So, I could hear what was going on in the 16 track. That's how we would monitor it. And then when it was time for mix down, you'd hit some sort of button, and then these would be the returns from the tape machine, so I could mix it. And it had 2 effects returns, and that was it. It had like some other stuff here. It definitely had, it had 2 auxiliary sends for like headphones or outboard effects, I think, or maybe it was 3, I can't remember. It wasn't amazing, but for where we were at time, like in the history of recorded music and all that, and what you could put in your basement, this was like amazing. And I regret getting rid of it. I don't get rid of anything anymore. This little thing on the left here is a automation system that I bought from somebody, and it was a piece of crap. I never really went that far.
Yeah, Artisan S asked, is that a DAT remote?
No. Okay, so whoops, this was from CM Automation, and it was this thing that I could automate, I think, 16 tracks, and you could switch the bank, and it kind of worked with the inserts on here. It didn't work very good. This is a remote for, I think, the 8-track here. This was a friend of mine. This is Jeff Burdett's 8-track, half-inch. That was a half-inch 8-track. Oh, yeah, so that's the remote. You can see it right here. So this was the remote for this. This is a Sound Studio Master mixer that I bought for gigging because I had a band and we had a drum machine, and I just thought it was better. Just you go into clubs and you just never knew what you're gonna hear. So I literally would like have that in a rack, and we could mic up the whole band and just send 2 lines to the sound man. But I would use it in the studio sometimes if like for extra headphone mixes and stuff like that. So that's what that is. This picture is probably this is early 90s because I knew Jeff Burdett. So that would have been in the 90s, I think, early 90s.
Yeah, where'd it go? Cellar Ridge points out he is using every port available on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. And Rick Finsta says, man, we had one of those Ramses come through the guitar shop used back in the mid-90s. I remember it being a beast, as in quite heavy.
So, about using every port and channel, this picture here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is a picture of me at Blackbird Studios in Nashville. This is in Studio D. This is back when back before I realized I looked like one of those guys on, what was that TV show?
Duck Dynasty?
Duck Dynasty. Somebody said, hey, that guy in Duck, you look like that guy in Duck Dynasty. I was like, I've never seen the show. I just thought a little bit I did see. So I go and look at it, and the dude's beard looked exactly like mine, and he had the exact same leather cap. It's actually an Australian cowboy hat. It's very rare. Dude had the same exact type. So I cut my beard and quit wearing that hat. But this was a session I did up there. This is an API mixer. I think it's the largest, at the time, was the largest API mixer in the eastern United States. I did a project where I used every channel on that board. I kid you not.
And it was not a live symphony.
No, it was a rock band. Now, why did I use every channel on the board? Because, oh my God, it's just one of these weird stories. It was a band called The Cusses, and the guitar player played, he played the guitar and bass at the same time on his guitar. So he would have like, it's hard to even explain, but he would have these 2 cabs and, hold on. Drums.
That's right, Sup Mellow. He did it because he could.
Well, yes, exactly. But the thing was, so we mic'd up not only his orange amp, and he had another cabinet, but because they had the money, and it was Blackbird, and it was like, oh yeah, they have these engineers. I was just like, oh, and they had some sort of splitter so they could split out the guitar signal to like 20 amps. And this studio has like a bunch of isolation booths. So we were like, we got the time. So I think we mic'd up something like 20 amplifiers with 2 mics on each one. Then the drum kit. Here's the drum kit from that session. I wish I had a higher resolution picture. And as you can see, I've got 2 sets of overheads right here. Why? Because I could. And their staff there is so well trained. I was like, hey, could you set up another pair of, before I even say overheads, they're setting them up and it's patching the board. It's like, okay, it's in the board, it's over here, and it's on these channels in Pro Tools. I'm like, oh shit. It was fast. So I think I had like multiple different mics. I had so many mics on this thing. So yeah, I ended up using pretty much every channel on this board, and they even had to haul in extra Neve mic pre's. And then when we were doing the drums, oh yeah, that was the other funny thing. So the owner of Blackbird, oh my God, he's married to a country singer. God, his name just went out of my head. It's McBride, John McBride. You can see another drum kit sitting over here. He came down the studio, such a nice guy. And like technically, if we can go use the studio, whatever's in the studio. But if you go get drums and cymbals, you're supposed to pay rental on them. But he was so excited. He said, hey, come on up. And we went up to this drum room, and there were like 6 of us. And he's like, grab that drum. And he just let us borrow this stuff. And we had this train coming down from this other room of cymbals and drums. We had so many. It was kind of over the top. And in the end, none of it really mattered. Like, it was a good project. We could have done this project in my basement, but I wasn't the one in charge of the money. They just paid me to go bonkers with that thing. But yeah, that's me going a little bit of little bonkers with the amount of inputs on stuff.
I love, ED said when we were looking at the board and the number of inputs, this is harder for me to understand than the number of galaxies in the observable universe. It's a lot. Oh, and back on the Ramza, Supmello was saying, by the way, I have an emulation plugin for the Panasonic Ramza WRS4424 console.
What?
It's by Audio Assault.
Can you put a link up to that?
I don't know. Can they do links?
Oh no, they
Twitch,
can't do links.
I think on Twitch, actually, Supmello could do a link. Give it a shot, Supmello.
That's crazy. Okay, I got another picture here. It's like I actually know who this is, but I'm just the thing that. Okay, Crystal, do you know who that is?
Is that Pooh Bear?
Yes.
Yeah, I did it.
So
only because I remember you telling me before.
Pooh Bear was one of the first rappers that came into my studio, like when I did the Full Contact Sports and Bone Crusher. And it was kind of tied in with Lyrical Giants, which is Bone Crusher's group. And Pooh Bear was just this guy, like he's like family. They all say they're cousins. I never quite understood always the relationships, but they're family. And Pooh Bear, I actually have a pin, like a pin you'd wear on your shirt, of him holding a megaphone. I don't know why. Obviously, this was not taken at the studio because he's underwater. Why do I have this picture?
Oh, yeah. Why do you have that picture?
I don't know. I found this today. I've seen it before, and I was like, why do I have a picture of Pooh Bear underwater?
Where is Pooh Bear?
I talked to Bizarre the other day, and he said Pooh Bear's got 3 kids. And he said something about, he kept saying he works really hard. That guy's the workingest guy. I don't know what he does. Let me scan that. Let me overview that. Okay, then this Crystal, you obviously know who this is, but the funny thing is I've got an insane amount of pictures almost exactly like this. I've got boxes of them.
Yeah, I know already who it is.
Oh, yeah. Now, some of you know who this is.
Some of you have, quote unquote, met him on our live streams.
Oh, let me.
Okay, Supmello was able to put up a link. I'm sending it to you.
Okay, cool. Let me scan this, a Pooh Bear. Okay, so who this is my buddy Sky, and he came in and sang on my song Aura. It was actually the first day we used the Royer ribbon mics, the R12s.
That was the first day.
That was the first day. Actually, Sky's quite possibly the first person on the planet to sing into a Royer R12 during a live stream. Actually, he would have been because they were not officially
They
released.
weren't officially released yet.
Yeah, you couldn't even buy them. You could only I did it the day that they did the announcement, and they'd sent them to me earlier to try out. And nobody else is live streaming my kind of shit. So he's the first. So the funny thing about this is, I don't know why, but I have just tons of pictures of Sky. Like I think we did a photo shoot. I've got
Yeah. It was a photo shoot, but I don't actually remember why.
Yeah, I literally have like 50 or 60 pictures of him just in the studio.
Mr. Fox asks, is this the same dude who wrote the songs with Bieber? Although
No.
that, or Mr. Fox, was that, I think you asked that while we were still looking at Pooh Bear? Or... But
No, Pooh
either way, it
Bear
would be
got
no.
out. Pooh Bear was never like serious about music. Like he would rap on a couple things, but it wasn't like a thing, you know. Hold on, I want to scan Sky because a Bone was talking about Sky being interviewed for the project too, and I need to hit him up. I want him to come back over and sing in some more stuff. He's just so goddamn good, man.
He was supposed to hit me back about coming out here, and I haven't heard back, but that's kind of
Well,
par
you
for
know,
the course.
the main thing is we just got to call him up and be like, yo,
We gotta, yeah,
you know,
stay in the forefront.
Okay, let me see if there's anything else I want to show. Okay. So some of these pictures aren't people that I don't know. They're actually people that I do know. But I kind of want to show a couple of these. Crystal, I don't know if you know who this is.
I recognize him. Something ancillary to Jonathan Cooper?
No, you actually mentioned his name earlier.
Oh, Paul Provost?
Yep. This is Corky Hughes from the Tone Poets, one of the most incredible guitar players I ever heard in my life. And the Tone Poets were a group that a buddy of mine had. This would have been in the 80s. It was a three-piece group. Paul Provost, Corky Hughes, and R.J. Veely, who was actually the drummer for 38 Special for a while. He ended up having a heart attack at a young age and dying. Every single person in that group was amazingly talented. They were so good that one time they were doing a gig at the Point, a place called the Point in Little Five Points in Atlanta. Jeff Beck was playing in Atlanta that night, and after the show, he asked somebody, hey, is there any bands that we can go see? And somebody said, oh, there's this band called the Tone Poets we know. So Jeff Beck actually came out and saw them play and was actually so blown away by him. He actually was coming up to Corky and asking him, like, how did you get that tone? And Corky was so in awe, he thought Jeff was like fucking with him, like, come on, man. But it got to the point where Jeff wanted to talk so much, they actually had to pack up the gear. And they're like, okay, dude, we got to go. Can you imagine that? Like Jeff Beck's like hanging out like, I really like it. Like, oh, great, dude, but we got to pack up the gear. But this is Corky Hughes, and this was at the Zone. This would have been in the 80s.
Yeah, that's an old one.
The thing about Corky, though, that was a little frustrating was we're only doing this on 16 track, right? He ran all his amps in stereo, but he had two different sets of amps. So it was something weird, like two sets of stereo amps. So that was 4 tracks out of 16. And then he'd do these guitar solos, and they were just awesome. He's like, oh, I want to punch in that second half. I'm like, oh, okay. And luckily, with a distorted guitar, it's pretty easy to punch in, right?
And we are talking about punching in on analog.
Yes. But he'd want to do it over and over. I'm like, oh, God, I hope I don't screw up. I couldn't tell any difference in the solos. They also, he'd like, oh, I want to do, it's like, sounded exactly like the other one. But hey, man, great guitar player. And I want to scan him because I have no pictures of him in my thing here. And then, okay, this is a funny picture here because of the weird group of people in this picture. It's like one of those things like, why are all these people together in this room? My life is so strange.
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
Okay, so y'all, the person lighting the candles on the cake is my mom. And then I'll say the young girl in the doorway there, is that my sister? Or
Yep.
is that, yeah, my
That's
sister.
Giselle. How old would she have been there?
Oh God, I don't know. Oh, and my brother's behind your head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Bizarre is there too.
yeah, and of course there's Bone.
How do you spell Hughes?
Hip hop birthday to you.
Hey, how do
That's
you spell
right.
Hughes? H-U...
H-U-G-H. Wait.
Is there an-
H-U-G-H-S, right?
Hughes. For some reason, I thought there were Hugs. That's like there should be. Isn't that H-U...
Oh, H-U-G-H-E-S.
What? Hugges?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, isn't it like H-U-E-G-S? No.
C-A-K-C?
H-U-E-G-H-S.
No. Really?
H-U Hug... Corky Hugges?
Oh, stop.
Well, I know who it is. I'm going to scan it. Boom. Okay. Here's what's crazy about this
Thank you,
picture.
Randy.
It's like...
H-U-G-H-E-S.
Okay, that's what I put in there. Oh, you see, now when I'm looking up here, Randy typed it up there. It looks weird on my screen. It looks perfectly normal up there. Yes, up Mello. John McBride is literally one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life and has so much enthusiasm for the studio and people in there. I don't normally like going to professional studios. I prefer smaller studios. But that place is one of the best studios in the world, and it's also kept up very well, and they got a great staff. But the vibe is very much like just like hanging out with people. It's just cool. I don't know how to describe it. I want to scan this picture and look at it more closely.
So part of that, guys, actually this kind of goes back. Somebody asked me earlier, wondering when you and I met, Billy. And the answer is that our families, I lived in the neighborhood where the Zone was. And Billy's stepson, Justin, who is Justin Mullinix of the Risky Biscuit Band. They stream on Twitch sometimes.
No, they're not streaming anymore.
Oh, they're not?
Nope.
And he and my younger brother were friends. And our families used to do stuff. But Billy and I have the same birthday. And so we would do... we would get together for birthdays. So, I mean, the answer is we actually kind of were in each other's circuits for a long time before Billy and I ever actually started dating. I used to be his cat sitter. But, yeah, I mean, it was just... So, we typically would do some kind of birthday thing together since it was on the same day. And, hence that odd mix of people in the studio and a birthday cake with my mom and my brother and my sister.
Yeah, and it's...
Thanks, Chronic Dream.
Oh, thanks. I think what's funny about it to me, though, is like the kind of people, like if you think about the people who are in the picture, like it's a weird group of people. Hold on, I'm about to bring it up on the screen so you can see it a little closer. Okay, here we go. I love this picture. Okay, hold on. Okay, so there's your mom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, there's that camping cup again.
Oh, my God. Yeah, there's that camping cup. There's my Elisa's MIDI verb in the bottom. Okay, so I see the BNC, so I was doing ADAT recording, so I was still mixing through the board.
Yeah, there was not some not love for ADATs in chat earlier.
Yeah. I see cassettes on the table here. So Crystal's mom, back then, and it's still this way, if you go to her house, you're going to have a glass of wine and listen to like jazz music or something kind of soft or whatever. Although they went to that weird country phase for a while. But back then it was all jazz and all that. And then there's Jonathan Cooper right here, who was lived at the house with me and engineered. He was a classical trained pianist, but also had a jazz group. Then we got Bizarre, Baby B, and Bone Crusher from the hood and Lyrical Giants. And then we got Crystal's brother and sister, and they're just, good kids from the neighborhood. And then me, I'm a military brat. And
Holding a bear
I'm holding a bear.
for some reason.
I stuffed a bear. I don't know why. There's so many things in here that I'm kind of like, why? Oh, Crystal, this is before.
No, that's my little sister, Rainia Mania.
Yeah. So obviously I probably had the Lyrical Giants in the studio, and then your mom came over with a cake to surprise me. You're probably the one taking the picture.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a weird group of people. Like, I don't know. There was a lot of that. Like when we were doing the early rap sessions, Crystal, and you'd come over. This is why one of the reasons I started doing rap music was because of this exact thing that happened. But you were like, you're always doing beating. Like you're sitting, you're at your beating table right now. There's like all your Crystal does beating and stuff, right? So you were making like dream catchers, and you were sitting back here on this couch back here during a session, and I was working on something, and there was just a bunch of these like hood rappers in there and these tough guys, and you're over there like, oh, with your dream catcher, and they'd sit there and go, what's that? And you'd be like, oh, this is a dream catcher, and they're like, what's that? And you would explain, oh, it's, you hang it in the window and it catches your dreams.
I didn't talk like that.
You know what I'm saying. And they'd be like, that's really dope. Can you make me one? And I was thinking, like, had that been a rock session at the time,
They would have been too cool for school.
they probably wouldn't even talk to you. Mm-hmm. And if they did, they'd be like, oh, hi. But the rappers were very like, hey, what's up?
And also very interested and curious about learning new stuff.
Exactly. And also the idea of like having dreams. Mm-hmm. Dream catcher, having dreams. All these guys, all these rappers talked about manifesting their destiny and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, heavy. I'm like, man, this is like really, really, really cool. And and I know I've said this before, but working with the rappers, all the rapper guys, all these cats, it's the first time in my life I ever felt accepted anywhere. That people, I know they thought I was a little weird, but they thought it was kind of funny, and they knew I did good work, and they appreciated my passion. And they didn't always understand what I was trying to say, but they accepted it. Like, it wasn't like, that's weird. It was like, okay. And there was this acceptance that I could just be myself, and I didn't have to worry about, not like people. I mean, I got made fun of a lot, by people in the studio. I remember probably shouldn't mention the group, but they're kind of known at the time. I was lucky enough to work with them. And I know I would say something, and I know they were making a joke about me and laughing at me in the room. I just didn't understand it. Because, I'm me, and I'm focused on things. So I just pretend I didn't hear it. But I could tell they're, like, making fun of me. I never got that shit. Like if a rapper was going to make fun of me, it'd be right in front of my fucking face. And they would actually make a point of like, dude, what's that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And there was just a much more open thing to it. And to me, this picture, I don't know, this was just a really good time.
See you, Bloor.
I don't know. I really liked this time. And it was cool. It was a really good time in our past. So
yeah. Rainia Mania, you're not wrong. Me and my sister, we look a lot alike. In fact, it's kind of funny because my sister's got kids now, and I'll sometimes go and stay at her house if she and her husband need to go out of town and keep the kids. And her second kid wasn't one yet, was getting close to 1 year old. And I remember at one point I'd been watching the kids, and then she and her husband get home, and she's holding the baby. And we noticed at one point the baby would look at her and then look at me and then look back at his mom and then look at me. And we just busted out laughing because it was clear. He was like, wait a minute.
ED asked, have you ever recorded mixed jazz? Yes, I have. Not a bunch. It was more like very avant-garde jazz, like Medeski, Martin, and Wood type stuff. It was the group Grout. Mm-hmm. And this guy here, actually, this was his group.
Yeah, Jonathan Cooper, fantastic piano player.
That group was incredible. And then some other like kind of more traditional jazz stuff. Not a bunch of it, but a good amount. Yes, there's definitely CDs in the picture.
Oh God, y'all, so many CDs.
I have boxes of those things.
But I mean, the number that we went through, I used to make the runs to good old Tape Warehouse in Atlanta to pick up whatever we needed. By the time I was doing the runs, we were it was seldom reels of tape at that point. It was ADATs and CDs. What else was I picking up? There was something else I would have to pick up sometimes. Hey, JG Hill. But yeah, I mean, crates and crates of CDs. Just.
Yeah, I had a good little business.
That's right.
When
I
you have a
forgot about
studio and at the end of the session, they're like, can you make me a rough mix and put it on cassette? And I'm like, you got a cassette? And they're like, no. And like, do you have any? I'm like, oh, yeah. Because I'd buy them in bulk. I had boxes of blank CDs, and I could, I marked them up, of course. It wasn't crazy, but I made a little bit of a profit on it.
Yeah,
But oh my God, CDs was just like you burn it and you could only use them. At least with a cassette, you could reuse it. They could bring it back. But the CDs, oh my God, once you use it.
That's what's burned onto it forever.
Yeah, I've got boxes of them back here. Insane amounts. Probably need to end the stream here soon, but I'm going to do a couple more pictures.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, do you know who this is? I do.
Count, is it Mbutu?
Count Mbutu.
Yeah.
The drummer's name, unfortunately, I can't remember. He was in that group Guest.
Yes, okay.
And I actually looked him up online before, and I can't find... There's a bunch of other bands named Guest. It was a jam band. And there's actually another picture. Actually, I'll throw this right here.
Sup Mellow says there should always be a Sharpie next to the CD burner. Sharpies everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
This is the same band, Guest. And the guy...
There's Ruby.
Yeah, there's Ruby right here. And I just can't remember everybody else. I think maybe this was the guitar player. I can't remember. It was Drew. There's the drummer. This guy right here was the investor. It was a guy with a lot of money. What was interesting is that we did the album. Everybody there from Ohio or something like that. They all went home except for the guitar player.
Right. Oh, that's right.
He stayed a couple extra days. His car.
He had a flight booked.
He had a flight booked. He just had to.
So
he had his guitar
at the
here.
Studio for a couple of nights.
Had to do a couple more punch-ins. The rest of the band went home. He was going to fly out. We stayed up really late the last night of recording. God, worked till like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then early in the morning, my mom calls me up and wakes me up and says, "Go turn on your TV." I'm like, "Why?" She says, go turn on your TV." And I go downstairs, and I turn it on, and the First World Trade Center had a plane fly into it, and then within minutes, and then the guitar player was sleeping on the couch. He wakes up, and we're looking, and the second plane hits that next morning. And so, obviously, he couldn't fly home. He was stuck at the studio for a few days, and then somehow managed to get
They actually managed to get a whole chain of friends and family
that he could...
to hitch rides with, so that he could take the car from this town to that town and then get picked up by somebody else and manage to make it back to Ohio. But yeah, I remember because I was the first one up, and I walked down and I kind of tiptoed through the living room, and actually the TV was on with the sound off. And I remember seeing that it was the news, and I saw some clouds of smoke, but I didn't really think anything of it. I just kind of passed through because he was sleeping on the couch and went to go make coffee. And then, yeah, your mom woke you up.
I'm going to scan this picture.
Hey, ED says Sleepyhead's dad is there again. Was that the same person? Maybe the earlier person was from Guest? Was that the same person?
No.
No, okay.
No. Why does he think that's Sleepyhead's dad? Oh, actually, I gotta talk to Sleepyhead later on today. He had some questions. Hold on, let me do this. Guest drummer count. The reason I wanted to
Same glasses?
count Butu, I was going through these pictures with Ansley, and hold on, damn it. Count Umbutu. And she saw another picture of Count Umbutu that's really a bad, it's like really low resolution. This is a better one. And she's like, oh my God, Darren would love that because he knows Count Umbutu, and Count is still, that was like, what, 2001. Count's still out playing.
Nice.
Yeah, great percussionist. Yeah, like for real.
And some of y'all have met Darren in one of our Fly on the Wall live streams when Billy was recording drums up here. He's significantly taller than Billy and has kind of a bushy hair look going. So you might remember him.
All right. Well, that's the last thing I'm going to scan for right now. I mean, I got a ton of other pictures here. There's more people I don't know, but it just goes on, and it's kind of like, oh my God. It's just, I do want to show this one though. I'll scan it later. This is, oh no, here. I wish, so this was a project. These guys were from Kentucky. I can't remember the name of the group. And this guy got really obsessed about his MPC getting hot, so he had this fan that would constantly blow in the MPC. It was hot. It was during the summer. And he would always refer to another producer with his weird name, but it turned out it was actually him. I could never quite understand the whole reason why. Yeah, they did a whole album there. They were there for like, I don't know if they slept at the studio or had a hotel room, but they're from like Louisville, Kentucky or something like that. And they were there for like a week and a half or whatever. We tracked everything and did a whole album. But that damn fan was running the whole freaking time. You see there's a turntable there too, so I think he was scratching stuff in. But he was obsessed. And that fan blew day after day on that MPC. It was driving me nuts. But anyway.
Hey, Sup Mellow says maybe we should set up a Discord channel for mystery pictures.
Oh, that might be a good idea. I was kind of thinking like somewhere I could put it, and I'm maybe posting it on Facebook, because I got to tell you.
Now, at least if you post on Facebook, some of those people might see it.
Yeah, hold on. And I'm just going to go grab it just to kind of give you guys an idea about it. Let me go grab something.
That's right, Edie. Keeping your MPC cool, but putting all the dust in it at the same time. But yeah. Oh, I guess I haven't done this yet. Y'all, make sure to hit like on today's live video, please. Over there on Twitch, if y'all haven't given Billy a follow yet, please do so. Make sure, if you haven't subscribed to Billy's YouTube channel, that you do that. And if you want to know when he goes live or when he releases a video, make sure to hit the YouTube little bell, the notification button, because YouTube won't tell you necessarily unless you have.
So the studio I'm talking about, that was the Zone, the one I'm scanning pictures for. And I've often thought the amount of artists and bands, singers, songwriters, and rappers, whatever, that came through there.
Oh, Sleepyhead, hi.
Oh, hey,
Sorry.
Sleepyhead, what's up? Just, oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, Danny Boone from Rehab will be here on Sunday. Are we working on Sunday, or is it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, Billy's answering the question, will
Fly on the Wall live
any
stream.
Fly on the Wall live streams
It'll
coming
be
up?
Sunday or
Yes.
Monday. Danny Boone from Rehab. We got a little more work to do. But the Zone Studio, so many bands through there, so many stories, so many dreams, so much music. Mm-hmm. I don't know where some of these people are now. Now, this guy, I think, he actually moved back to Chattanooga. This is T Stone. This is a cassette project I did, singer-songwriter.
Oh, that's the artist in your in the sound room, right?
Yeah, that was the bit. Well, we took it down. There was actually a tapestry that I have somewhere that was hanging up in there for like 25 years, and it's practically coming apart. He made it, same picture. But, this is like, look at this. This is just a small amount. These are cassettes. Mm-hmm. You know, here's like the Tone Poets.
Oh, nice.
Max Mix.
Oh, right.
The Inklings.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Inklings. Boy, there was a lot of drama in that group. Okay, this is Rabbi Mordechai Dubin. I was doing a lot of music for rabbis. I know it seems strange. I kind of tapped into the Jewish Orthodox, or not, I don't know, no, not Orthodox, but Jewish community in Atlanta, which is huge. And I did 2 albums for Mordechai Dubin, and then another guy, and then Liat Lasseter that was singing in Hebrew. I did an album of ancient songs where she's singing in Hebrew, Yemenite, Arabic, a bunch of different languages. Here's a Robert Hoyt album I did.
Nice.
I've got a ton of these. Oh, this is
Robert Hoyt. That's a source of some fun stories.
I hope there are Harleys in heaven. I don't even know who this is. And then there's stuff. And guys, I just went back there and grabbed. There's more of these. I don't even have all of them. These are just the ones that the client sent to me. There's a group called Black Folk. Avenue of the Giants, that was Foz and the Lazy Eye Guys, some of them. Oh, here's another Robert Hoyt thing, palindrome, Bob Palindrome. The first Sound Tribe Sector 9 album.
Yep.
Did that album. Here, Rehab Graffiti the World, of course.
Oh, Tim Janis and their viewers just joined.
My
Hello.
album.
Welcome, y'all.
Hey, how's it going? Full Contact Sports.
Now that's a
This
good
and
one,
this
y'all.
this is kind of ties into the project I can't talk about, but I think everybody will find out. There's some people wanting to talk about it. Oh, here's the Jeremy Thornton thing, and I've got stacks of these, and it's just like so many projects were done at my studio, and so many bands came. Oh, here's the King Konga album.
Nice. That's a good album, y'all.
That's really, really good. And of course, I just want to point this one out again. Pale Blue Dot from 95 or something like that. One of the best records I ever did. Analog 16 track. Kind of one take on everything. Mixed it and just incredible. But the reason I want to find out who these people are in these pictures is because I want to tell the story. And there's a lot of angles to the story. There's like the whole couch thing. There's things like everybody with this dog. I have a million pictures of people with my dog. There's the school desk and a bunch of other stuff and then the music too. And I want to do a video, and at some point I want to show all the pictures I can get, but to literally list out everybody that came through my studio and mention all of them that I could would be just incredible. But it's a lot of research and trying to find people because some of the stuff I did back in the 80s, and I'm not even talking about the old zone because I had another zone studio at another location about 3 miles away from there with another guy, and we did a few albums there, and then I moved to this place where we did it all.
Yeah, Tanner says we should put the Pale Blue Dot CD on YouTube since it's not anywhere.
It is so good.
It's
just incredible.
I wonder if we could track anybody down. I'd hate to do it and not be able to have it connect to them.
Well, if my YouTube channel grows, hit subscribe and notification. If I
share
get
the YouTube channel,
if I can get it bigger, it'll be a lot easier to find these people because more people will be watching and it'll get out there. I'm thinking about maybe I like the Discord channel idea.
For identifying these pictures.
Yeah.
And yes, for those of you that don't know, Billy does have a Discord channel. I haven't thrown up links to any of your stuff. I'll do that.
Yeah. I'm not on the Discord channel very much, and I feel bad about that because I'm just so busy. There's a lot of people there. I just got a lot going on. Plus, Discord is a struggle for me. I really have a hard time keeping track of the sequence of things there.
We start to feel old when we start to try to use the server.
The only way Discord, like for Discord to really be up on top of it, you got to kind of have it open all the time to keep track of the conversations. And for me to do what I do, I literally have to go down the rabbit hole and put my phone somewhere else and ignore everybody, whether I'm working on a production or a video. When I did the studio tour video that I put out a couple weeks ago, that took forever, and I just had to ignore everybody. But it's like right now I'm mixing the Rehab album, and I'm down here like, and I just figured out some really cool stuff with how to use. I got these room mics on the drums, and I put gates on them, and I figured out a couple other cool tricks. And then I'm down here for freaking like mixing it for 14 hours, and I don't really want to be disturbed. So it's kind of like to keep track of Discord and stay up on the social media is hard because I need to be down the hole creatively, which is because even if the YouTube channel blows up and becomes really huge, I'm not going to stop making music. It'll be more video, but it's the same with the videos. For me to do the kind of videos I want to do and make the kind of music that I want to do, I have to kind of disappear from the world and be alone. And I just have to, for me, it's the only way. And I think for a lot of artists, it's the only way to really make great art. You got to kind of like be in your own world and reality and stuff like that.
JG Hill's studio saying if you get a chance to make a video on OBS, that would be
Yes.
cool.
On my studio tour video, I meant to get deeper into it, but it got to the point where the video was I had 3 hours of footage, or 4 maybe, and I got it down to an hour and a half, and to be honest, I got to the end, I'm like, okay, Here's my cameras. I've gotten really good at OBS. There's a whole, oh my God. I get really deep into this stuff. So yeah, J.G. Hill, at some point I might do that. Let's see, before we go.
So, and just for those of you that kind of popped in right at the end here, Billy for decades had, and it's still there, but he doesn't use it as much now, a studio just north of Atlanta, and has a lot of pictures from during those times. And a lot of the big hits that Billy has worked on came through the studio during that time. And he's working on a project, wanting to scan a lot of this old memorabilia and digitize it, and it's all related. And so what we've been doing this whole stream really is looking at old pictures, talking about it, talking about different things like gear from that time and people that Billy worked with and the development of the studio over time and how all of this could come to be and just a lot of stuff like that. So that's what this live stream has been about. And if you see anybody, as Billy's, works well through these, he's kind of flipping through real quick some of the stuff. If you see anybody you happen to recognize,
yeah, I really want to know who this
people.
guy is.
We still want to know who that dude is.
I
Captain
remember
Moped.
him. I just don't know the name of the group. I don't know his name. And this would have been, I'm looking at the gear, so that was after I got the ramp. So it's like late 90s, but still analog. Mm-hmm. And what is that power amp down there? Hold on a sec. What the heck is this? There's a power amp. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at this power amp here. There's a power amp down there with VU meters on it. What the heck is that? Oh, Crystal, look at this picture right here. Look.
What? Philly. All right. Oh, yeah.
That's you in Charleston.
Yep.
The first time we went to Charleston. I still have that picture next to the bed.
You do.
That's right. I love that picture. Anyway, who's this guy? Who's this dude? I remember how he talked. I remember his voice. I don't know who it is. And then, of course, I know who most of these guys are, except for this dude. It's like, that's David Banner. There's Baby B. I think that's D right there. Bizarre's brother, I believe. Who are these guys? I remember them being in the studio. Don't know who they are. I've got an insane amount of pictures like this.
That's kind of a Banner beard.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, who's this? Somebody's manager, publicist. This is from way, 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 way back. This is 80s.
I think is that 80s? Are you sure?
Well, it's the same as, where'd that picture go? Oh, I already scanned it. I don't have it in here. But I know the other guys, but look at the microphones, okay? Mm-hmm. We've got the Neumann TLM 170, which I got a long time ago, but I've got this AKG. I forgot what that is. I actually still use that thing, but that was given to me by... No, wait, where did I get that? Maybe that was the 90s.
I think that's early 90s.
That might be, yeah. Because that was given to me by Jeff Burdett.
Because I swear I recognize that person, and I wouldn't know... I wouldn't be... maybe I'd recognize Paul Provost from the 80s, but that's, I'd recognize Paul, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the foam. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that stuff works. This, of course, this is definitely the 80s here. And this is way, way, way back. I can tell by the color of the walls.
Yeah,
I don't even know who that is. And this is like, the big mystery to me is this dude.
I wonder, the Casey Strums. We'll have to look that up. Wouldn't it be funny if you reach out and it turns out to be the same dude?
I swear, I'm so freaking curious because I scanned this today. Hold on, where is it? Yeah. Oh, here's another version of the same dude. But I don't know if that's a good picture. I just think that we might have caught him like at that moment where he was like blinking or something like that. Or maybe he looked at like that. I can't remember. I know, I think the group was from Alabama and he was just hanging out with them. Who is that? And then like this, just so many people. And I've got tons of this. And I'd like to put the whole story together. And like I said, it does all tie to another project I'm working on that involves the studio, this door, the desk pictures, and a bunch of other stuff. And if it all actually happens, y'all definitely hear about it. Oh, yeah, AKG C1000. Yeah, not a bad mic. And the other thing that's kind of really cool about it is that it's got that, you can put that 9-volt battery in it, so you don't need phantom power. I'll use that when I'm filming sometimes, even though my Blackmagic has phantom power on it. But it's just easier to just use that mic. I actually have used that in some of my more recent videos. Kevin Ray Vaughn. He said that's Kevin Ray Vaughn. Oh, my God. Yeah. I think something, Mello, that I think the AKG C1000S was given to me. You know, that's another thing I was thinking about for my studio tour video, how much stuff in the studio. And actually, I just got another one. So y'all saw Sleepyhead like a week or two ago was here. And he always brings me stuff. He like brought me that little boombox. And there was something else. And then the last...
Simple.
Well, as he was packing up, he said, I'm going to leave. It's actually not a Zildjian. It's a Sabian symbol. Just leaves me a ride symbol. I'm like, man, you need a good ride symbol. I'm going to leave this here. I'm like, well, put your name on it. Oh, it's your... No, put your name on it. So we know who it came from. So I just got... And I was like, I went out and hit it again the other day. I said, oh, it sounds really good. So now I got it. Because my ride symbols suck. So I just got a ride symbol because I have a lot of people that support me. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. Anyway, we should probably get going. I got to do some more mixing. I got to mix some more rehab stuff.
I feel like I ought to cook y'all dinner tonight. It's been a minute.
I'm tired of eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I was, I had a long day yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, you did. You just look great when you came in, though.
Y'all, I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't do that shit.
You came in with just this vibe and power and this look and confidence like, I'm the shit. I was like, yes, you are, honey. You are.
Nothing exciting, y'all. I was working the polls yesterday for the elections here in the States.
Yeah, but it was like you were there at 5 in the morning and came home at like 8.
Well, I was there at 5:30, and yeah, I got home at 8:30. So, but okay.
All right, well, everybody, thanks for watching. It's been fun. Thanks for sitting through me scanning pictures. A lot of fun. I'm going to be doing a deep dive live stream on Oh, wait, that's when Danny's coming in.
We already talked about this. Oh, no, that was Sleepyhead. Oh, man, Martin H., thank you so much.
Oh, thanks so much. Appreciate it, Martin. Kid, you need to hit up Danny. I got to figure out when he's coming out. I'm supposed to do another deep dive live stream.
You were supposed to talk to him because you're saying you don't need as long as
Well,
I've
look, Danny, okay, listen, if Danny and I get on the phone, it's not going to be like, what time are you showing up? It's going to be like,
I know.
Hey, I got blah, 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 blah. And he'll say something, and I'll be like, I got this cool guitar tone. And then I'll say something weird like, I'm painting my gargoyle. And then he'll laugh. And then he'll tell me some weird story from on the road. You think we're going to get like, what time are you showing up? No.
Do you think I care? I just need to know.
No, that's why you call Schiff. That's why Danny has Schiff and I have you.
Yes, but see,
and you all
then
have
I
brains.
call Schiff, and then she has to talk to Danny, then she has to get back to me, and then
But
I have
that's
to tell
fine.
you.
It's the only way it's going to work because Danny's going to forget and I'm going to forget.
Lord.
You talk to Schiff, she'll tell Danny what to do, then you'll tell me what to do, and I'll know.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I'm going to be doing some live streams this weekend. I'm supposed to do a deep dive live stream on Sunday, and I think I'm going to do electric guitar production techniques, just weird stuff I do with electric guitars. Now I'm starting to wonder about the timing of all this, but yeah. So yeah. All right.
So I'm throwing up a link, y'all. If you haven't seen Billy's latest video, make sure to check it out. It's always important for y'all to keep up on what's going on. Make sure to share the channel with anybody you think might be interested. That's like one of the best ways that you can help us is to just sort of spread the word. If somebody might be interested in the videos and the live streams and the content that Billy puts out, let people know.
Yeah.
Y'all, Landy says they're about to go live on YouTube. So Landy's on the YouTube chat. You can go check them out.
Oh, it's on Sunday.
Sorry?
You said that Landy's got...
they have a session on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. The rehab songs are so good. Which reminds me, for those of y'all that don't know, Billy did fly on the wall live streams for every day that the rehab band was in here recording. And his fly on the wall live streams are where he kind of sets up, he's doing a real session, like genuine.
These are paid sessions.
Paid sessions, and he'll set up the cameras and let them roll so that people can drop in and basically hang out in the studio and just sort of watch how it unfolds, watch how they record, what they're doing, how Billy interacts with the band, all that stuff. So, and all those live streams are up on Billy's YouTube channel under the live tab. You'll see it's, rehab day 1, rehab day 2, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
if you're interested, they're
and
long
they go
streams.
long. Some of them go
14 hours.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in being in the studio to observe, that's kind of a way that you can do that.
Yeah, I guess Sleepyhead. I don't think Sleepyhead's here anymore.
No, Sleepyhead just said I'm going to start going live on Fridays.
Oh, good.
Nice, Landy. Landy says you inspired them to do the live stream recording stuff.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, that's what I want to do. I want to inspire people. There's Sleepyhead. Oh, hey, Sleepyhead. I'll call you after. Let me eat something. Then I'm going to call you up about that thing because I know I wasn't very clear with what I was explaining, and I'll explain it a little better. I'll call you back and we'll talk about the editing and stuff like that.
All right. I guess that's it. And hit like on your way out. Sup Mellow says, Billy, that you've been inspiring people.
Thanks. Well, I'm glad to hear that. All right, well, everybody, I wish I could tell you exactly when I'm going to be streaming again or when a video's coming out. I have no idea. I actually got 2 videos in my head I want to work on, but I've been mixing. So when it comes out, it comes out. When I stream, I stream. Just subscribe, hit the notification button, and watch out for me because you never know what the hell I'm going to do. So anyway, y'all have a good day. Be creative and always be unique. See ya.
Bye.
Take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5, take whatever.